Enjoy the ball game.
One way we're going to beat ball here. Everybody get into it. We're going to beat Michigan today. Wolverines, we're not afraid of them. It doesn't matter.
Here we go. This is the ball game, folks. 2-point conversion attempt. Gerback to throw. Lofting it up in the end zone. Desmond Howard has it. He's got it. He beat Eddie Brown, or did he? What do they call him? He dropped the ball. Oh, my goodness. Desmond Howard could not hold it.
That was the situation last year. Michigan, the #1 rated team in the nation, lost to their arch rivals 28-27 on a very controversial no call that should have been pass interference. The very next day, Dave Perry, supervisor of Big Ten officials, admitted his crew made a mistake, and he called Coach Gary Moeller of Michigan saying, yes, indeed, your wide receiver Desmond Howard had been interfered with. That play, that game, may have cost Michigan the Big Ten championship and a Rose Bowl bid. Well, you better believe the Wolverines fans and their players are ready, and they want revenge today, including the man in the middle of that controversy, Desmond Howard, who at 5'9", 176 pounds, is one of the leading candidates for the Heisman Trophy. He has scored 60% of his school's touchdowns this year with 10, 153 yards all-purpose rushing. And Gary Danielson, with or without the football, he makes Michigan so very dangerous.
Absolutely, Steve. All the great ones do. The Rocket last year and Desmond this year. They affect the football game when they don't have the football. Let's go to the telestrator, and I'll illustrate it here. Florida State versus Michigan 2 weeks ago. Terrell Buckley, Desmond Howard. Man-to-man. That's the key here. Why? Because Florida State is able to commit more men to stop this powerful Michigan running game. Iowa, Michigan State, the teams in the Big Ten, they don't have anybody like Buckley. They're going to have to play the deep zone. And that opens that running game like Iowa last week when Michigan ran for 300 yards on the ground. Michigan State on the other side of the football, 14 seniors left this football team from 1990 when they were co-champs. And this year, they've been hit with injuries, both offensively and defensively. Let's go take a look. The tackle, the guard, the split end, the starting fullback, all out on offense. On defense, they lose the tackle, their end, both outside linebackers, and a corner. That's 5 on defense, 4 on offense, and in my book, that adds up to 0-4. Now, they've got something going the Spartans do today. It's Michigan and Michigan State. We know it's going to be an emotional football game, but more than that, Michigan State, they recruited these people to beat Michigan. These players believe that they can play on this football field and they can win this game. Should be a great one. Let's go back to the studio now. Tim Brand.
All right, thank you very much, Gary Danielson. That is quite a rivalry between those two, and you'll have it in just a few moments. Now, we want to let you on some scores that are already, games that are already taking place. Virginia Tech out to the 7-0 lead, a 46-yard strike from Will Fuhr to Michael Sturdivant in that ball game. Carlos Huerta has put Miami on the board in the opening drive. It is now 3-0. They are leading Penn State. Game being played, obviously, at Miami's Orange Bowl. Maryland taking on Georgia Tech. Maryland has lost.
ESPN's presentation of college football, Michigan and Michigan State, is brought to you by Thrifty Car Rental. Because it's your money. Call 1-800-for-CARS or your travel consultant. Shout out today at Spartan Stadium for the 84th meeting between Michigan and Michigan State. Well, every week in the Big Ten, we go on campus for a talent search to find out who our student sideline reporter will be. Well, this week's winner, a senior in telecommunications, Dave Ellis. Dave, what do you have for us?
Well, Stephen Gary, in the past 24 meetings between these two schools, the Spartans have only won 6 times. 2 of those times have been because they've changed their offense going into the game, and it messed up Michigan's defense. In 1969, they scrapped the veer and went to the power I. In 1984, they scrapped the 2-back and went to the 1-back set. Now, last week against Indiana, redshirt freshman Mill Coleman, a high school quarterback, ran 2 plays from an option formation. Will we see that from Michigan State today? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Guys?
And Dave, Gary Moeller told us that he's going to do what George was going to do way back in 1969. That's when Duffy Doherty made the big change. He said, hey, we'll go to the wishbone this week. I don't think that's going to happen, but there's George Corliss. And Gary Moeller on the other side, he has never beaten Michigan State. 0-4, 3 years at Illinois, and he lost last year 28-27. Well, we have a chance of rain today, like 40% chance, and the sky's overcast, temperature in the 40s. Winds out of the north, that will not be a factor, but we're wondering if the rain possibility could even out this matchup. Coming into the contest, Michigan, a
3.5 touchdown favorite.
I'll tell you, George Perlis right now is praying up there and talking to Duffy Doherty to get him some help with some rain in this football game. He'd like to even it out with a little bit of rain here.
Yeah, he wants that smash mouth football, and we expect that today. Beautiful Spartan Stadium. 76,000 plus on hand. Most they've jammed up in here for a Michigan State rivalry. Over 80,000. And we'll take a look at the game ball, and there it is. For the last 7 years, the Sigma Nu fraternity at Michigan and Michigan State run the game ball to 75 miles between the two campuses, and of course, they will party without the football tonight. Well, Michigan will kick off to start this ball game. Courtney Hawkins, Mill Coleman back deep, and there is Hawkins. They've only kicked off to him 8 times this year, and you see the reason why. 37.5 yards, leads the nation. And here's the boot. And they're kicking it away from Hawkins, so Michigan State will start with pretty good field position out past the 35-yard line. Let's take a look at the Energizer starting lineup for this afternoon's football game. Michigan State will start at quarterback. Jim Miller, a 6'4" sophomore from Waterford, Michigan, making his second career start. He's thrown for 374 yards. Backs and receivers. Tico Duckett was all Big Ten last year with almost 1,400 yards, but he only has 292 this year. Courtney Hawkins, explosive wide receiver. Offensive line averages 294 pounds. Jim Johnson at 6'5", 305 is the power man on the right side. Here we go.
Here's the change-up already. 3 wide receivers, only 1 back in the backfield. A little different for Michigan State.
And they throw right away, trying to hit Courtney Hawkins. Incomplete. It is second down, 10 yards to go. The Michigan defense. The line is maybe the best in the last 5 years, and Chris Hutchinson at 6'2", 260 is the sack leader with 3. Linebackers brilliant inside with Anderson and Morrison. Eric is trying to be the first Wolverine to lead the team in tackles 4 straight years. Secondary is the only area without experience. Lance Dotton, the only returning starter. He has returned 2 interceptions for touchdowns in his career, number 22. They'll try Duckett. Nothing there. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. And there he is, number 97, Chris Hutchinson. And Gary, you love this guy.
One of the great football players in college football. A little bit undersized, but Michigan's defensive line led by Hutchinson right there. He's so quick. Reminds the people here in Michigan of their great All-American Mark Messier of the back, Bessner of the bass. And Hutchinson is the type of football player that's going to make a lot of tackles in the backfield. They must account for Hutchinson.
He didn't play in last year's game because of a bad back. They need 11 on third down. Coleman is blasted by Steve Morrison, the inside linebacker, getting help from Corwin Brown.
Yeah, that's Milt Coleman. He's the phenom quarterback, a redshirt freshman who was coming across, and Corey Brown, Michigan sitting in that deep zone, just made him force the throw underneath and came up and made the big hit. Good defense by Michigan that time.
There's Josh Butlin getting set to kick it to Desmond Howard. His long was 40 yards, and that was against Florida State. Going for the sideline, wisely done, but Michigan will have pretty good field position to start their offensive series. Michigan's offense has Elvis Gerback at quarterback, 6'5", 220 from Willoughby Hills, Ohio. And joining Elvis at the skill position, well, we told you all about Desmond Howard, but sophomore Ricky Powers is a game breaker as well, 518 yards rushing. Offensive line is huge, averaging 291 pounds, the biggest in Michigan history. Greg Strepanek, 6'8", 322 pounds. Looks like a happy man. Just had dinner.
They caught him right after dinner. You got it. Good football player. Sometimes has a little problem with real quick people. Michigan State does not have that type of speed in the defensive line.
They give it to Powers, and he slides forward up near the 34-yard line. Let's take a look at the Michigan State defense. Injuries to 2 veterans have hurt, so the Spartans will need plenty from defensive tackle William Reese. Linebackers are very good, but Chuck Bullock is the boss inside. His 70 tackles, 3rd best in the nation. Defensive backfield, very young with 3 sophomores, so senior Alan Haller must play well. This is his 4th year as a starting cornerback for the Spartans. Second down and 5.
Come on, Chuck!
the first down. Myron Bell, strong safety, making the stop. Gary Moeller, he has his club starting quickly.
Looks like there's still going to be a measurement, and there may be a little bit of a piling on, too.
Personal foul, Michigan State.
Again, Desmond Howard catches a lot of passes in the offense. We talked to Coach Moeller of how do you get the ball in Desmond Howard's hands. He said, no big deal if they double covering them. I told Desmond there's 3 ways to go. They've got 2 of them stopped. You got to find the other way. He said, if they got 3 guys on you, we're not going to throw the ball to it. A little bit of a quick screen. Yale Van Dyne is going to go block a little bit. They're just trying to get the ball into the man who can change the game. He was close to being down. He got one to the face right there, and that was a little bit of piling on and unnecessary roughness.
And they are inside Spartan territory on their first possession.
Illegal formation by Michigan here. They're going to get called.
We've got 2 guys in the back to the wide right.
Kukuzo moved before the snap. They had an illegal formation anyway. They would have been called.
Yeah.
You can show you have to cover up the tackle on here. Down at the bottom, Michigan has 2 people that are both back behind the line of scrimmage. Right here is the tackle, and they have to cover him. One of these 2 people, these 2 receivers, have to move up and cover the tackle. They're going to get called for an illegal formation. Too many people in the backfield.
Jesse Johnson has come on for Gary Moeller, and he ran for 168 yards last week. The Big Ten's Offensive Player of the Week. He wears number 30. And they look for the screen. They get it to Johnson, and he'll go down the left sideline and bury a couple of would-be tacklers and then lose the ball.
One of the great additions that Gary Moeller has brought to this football team, though started a little bit in his last couple years at Michigan, is they've become a screen football team, getting the ball to their backs, and that's tough because a lot of people like to play deep zones against Michigan, so they've had to come up with another play. You can see the referee took one. The first casualty of the Michigan State game looks to be a referee. There'll probably be a lot of these. You can see it looks like his right wrist. He was hit there, fell on the turf, and hopefully it's not too bad. They're going to need all the referees in this game because there's going to be some fierce hitting.
Yeah, he was trying to get out of the way of all the action as Johnson slid towards that left sideline. And you take a look at head official Tom Quinn leaving the area.
When we met with the Norm Parker, defensive coordinator for Michigan State, you know, he just started checking off the guys that they were kind of counting on him this year to replace 7 starters that they lost. And all the injuries they've had has kind of highlighted some of the problems that they had with the new secondary. They're giving up big plays that Michigan State defenses haven't done the last 4 years. And that's been the big problem for the Michigan State team. They're not tackling well in the secondary. We're going to have to keep an eye on that, yards after catch or broken runs.
And that is not like Michigan State.
Absolutely. You watch them play from last year and this year, and you can see the difference. We talked about the defensive injuries before the game. There you can take a look at it. You know, when you lose 7 starters and then you start to bring some people back, that's 7 plus 5 or 6 this year. That means you're missing 13 guys that played last year on this football team. You're playing with 3rd stringers, basically, and you're going to have to pay for that.
And they really miss Willie Hill and Bill Johnson in that defensive line because Michigan, when they average 291 in the front 5 coming at you, they're just pushing those little guys back. Talking with Tom Quinn now.
Gary Moeller will serve as basically his own offensive coordinator. He's running the team. He'll call the plays. A lot of them will be signaled in their no-huddle offense. I wouldn't call it a hurry-up offense. I'd call it a no-huddle. What they're trying to do is get matchups. Gary will look at the defense while they're lined up and signal in the play after. It's a real big advantage, and they also take advantage of the rules. They're right on the edge to be able to substitute right at the last second and keep Michigan State from matching up the substitutions.
Well, they've got time to talk things over, so he's calling his entire offensive unit over to the sideline.
Right, and here's the point right here. Now, you don't know what Michigan is going to come out. Look, they've got 20 guys in that huddle. Michigan State is stuck with the people around the field. Now, Moeller could come out in goal line offense, 3 wide receivers, 4 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, and Michigan State can't combat that. I think that rule should be changed. I think you should be able to send 2 people to the sideline. Everybody else should have to stay between the hashes on a timeout. It's a big disadvantage, especially when you get near the goal line, which we'll show later in the game.
Well, finally, after a gain of 3 by Jesse Johnson, the injury to the official, we are ready to go. It's 2nd and 7. Ricky Powers back in for Jesse Johnson. And Howard goes in motion. Play action by Gerbach. And he goes to Yale Van Dyne, who makes the catch, has the first down, and is out of bounds near the 30-yard line. A gain of 12 on the play.
Yale Van Dyne has taken the position of Derek Alexander, their fine receiver that they've lost. Now, this is the Michigan State zone defense right here. You can see how they're playing the deep zone back here. They're not going to play man-to-man like a Florida State would. Desmond Howard's going to come here and drive everybody off, and Yale Van Dyne's going to stop right here for a nice little easy throw.
29.
Outside, a gain of 3 to the 26-yard line. And we've got time to find out what else is going on in college football with Tim Brando.
All right, Steve, we told you earlier Virginia Tech had the lead over #1 Florida State. The game in Orlando, Will Fuhr, no one has doubted this young man's talent. He goes deep to Michael Sturdivant. That's the touchdown that made it 7-0 Hokies. We will keep you posted throughout the day.
Wow, just the beginning of that contest. And here we have a scoreless game. 11:35 to play. Michigan with the football on the Michigan State 26-yard line. Second down 7. And again, they get it to Howard. 20-yard line, first down to the 15. You know, one thing you talked about, Gary, is with the zone, you really can't put 2 guys on that fella.
Well, that's really the mismatch that Michigan State has. They don't have anybody in their secondary that they feel confident enough that they can match up and take away these easy throws from Elvis Gerbach to Desmond Howard. That's as good as you can run a sweep. They got their best player with the ball in their hands outside of the defense, and he's running in space. Formation is causing it, and speed is causing the difference. Man-to-man here.
He's 4 for 4 passing. He's looking for Howard again. Makes the catch out of bounds inside the 10-yard line as he works on Alan Haller. For this fella, you know, there's another great receiver in this game named Courtney Hawkins, and we'll have a great matchup today, but how about this? Carl Pickens, who's another All-American who we'll see tonight on ESPN.
2 great players, and so different. One, the big fast guy from Tennessee. Desmond Howard can do it all with them without the ball, but these 2 guys are both, we're going to be seeing them playing on Sunday, and of course Courtney Hawkins also.
That game of national importance, 7:30 tonight on ESPN. Michigan needs 3. We're back to Howard and the touchdown, his 11th score this year.
Tough to stop. Michigan State comes into this game and knows that Michigan can run the ball right at them down their throats. You don't have the speed right now. Gerbach knows it's man-to-man. Gerbach comes back, throws it, a little slant pass. Brian Williams gets beat inside when he's got man-to-man coverage. Hey, it's very tough. You got a guy that's better than you. He's faster than you right there. You need a little bit of help down there. If you're willing to throw, you can get the easy touchdowns.
Well, they make the extra point, and Michigan on their first possession drives 78 yards for the score. ESPN's presentation of college football, Michigan and Michigan State, is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? And by Budweiser, the king of beers, who remind you friends know when to say when. Michigan with plenty of smiles on their faces. They traveled.
There's a pair right there.
miles.
Boyfriend and girlfriend got the Michigan State one.
This is the one day they argue. Well, forget about it.
I don't know
week.
about this just the one day.
Okay.
Well, Courtney's going to get it here.
Yeah, we get a chance to see the nation's best. Out past the 20 and hammered down near the 23-yard line. Michigan goes 71 yards on 8 plays, 2.5 minutes, and Howard his 11th touchdown this year.
Yeah, Gerbach 6 for 6 on the drive for 52 yards, and Howard caught 4 passes for 31 yards. That's pretty good perfection there. A lot of respect Michigan has for the MSU rushing defense. They know it's tough to run against these guys. They spread them out, they're throwing the ball, and that's going to cause big problems for the MSU defense. Michigan State needs drives. They have to put 4 and 5 minutes off the clock each time they get the ball.
They've gone back to their base offense at I formation. McFarland goes in motion, and Duckett gets the carry at the 25-yard line, where the tackle is made by Dwayne Ware.
Yeah, Ware came up, filled very good that time. The receiver went over in twins, and Ware played his position almost like a strong safety. He had no wide out to his side, so he filled that off-tackle play. Good tackling by Dwayne Ware, who's the third leading tackler on the team.
Look at Duckett's numbers this year. You know, he was even criticizing himself for not attacking the line of scrimmage.
Well, it's tough to lose confidence when the holes aren't there. You know, you start looking to make things happen, and just hasn't had the success so far.
They'll go Duckett right. And he tries to go over Jim Johnson, but that Michigan left side defensive line is right there, led by Mike Evans, a 6'4", 255-pound senior from Roxbury, Massachusetts.
And this Michigan defense can stop people running the ball. Florida State was able to throw the ball around, and that caused the only game when they were able to run it. If you can throw it, you can run it. You can see a third game, 159 yards on the ground. Amp Lee had such a great game. But look at the others. This is quality opponents. Notre Dame and Iowa can run the ball, and they shut them down very effectively.
Double tight end with Mitch Lyons and Kurt Prince. Miller to the air, and they give him time, and then it slows up. So Miller runs, and he's close to the first down.
Well, he wasn't very aware that time. He had an opportunity. He should have known he needed to get across that line. It looked like he went down just before the first down. You know, this is Michigan State. You got to lay it out in line right there and dive across. Very close. Let's see if he made it. There you see him in this protection right there. Everybody covered. Comes out. And let's see how aware he is. He needs to get to that. He went down. He got a very fortunate spot right there. He was down a good yard before that. So first down for Michigan State.
Waterford, Michigan went to the same high school as Kansas City Royal. Kirk Gibson, who was a wide receiver here with the Spartans. Duckett trying to skip outside, but Michigan's defense right there. Tim Brando, what do you have for us?
Number one didn't take long to get on the board, Steve. Take a look at Edgar Bennett. This is supposed to go up the middle. Watch him bounce it outside following his blockers. And the Seminoles have tied the game as he high steps into the end zone at 7. Game being played in Orlando.
It's rather interesting. We had a chance to visit with Lloyd Carr, defensive coordinator. We're talking about the speed of Florida State. He said, I don't think their speed was that great. I thought Notre Dame was very comparable.
Well, Notre Dame has some outstanding athletes, but top to bottom, I think Florida State interior people are much quicker. Again, fans are a little bit upset. Michigan State has gone on balance line, another new wrinkle that they're trying to use in this game, but they just have not been able to man-on-man. You know, you can change the formations and you can spread people out, but your interior linemen have to be able to defeat some people, and so far, this offensive line for Michigan State has not been able to do it. Duckett, 5 carries for 7 yards so far in the game.
Last year, he averaged 5.7 yards per carry.
Michigan goes with the nickel, 4 men rushing.
From the outside, Miller steps up, hits his man Coleman, but he can't hold on. And he would have had the first down, but the nickel man, David Ritter, was there.
Yeah, David Ritter, the senior, was with Milt Coleman. It was a good throw that he put it right on Coleman. 4-man rush for Michigan. They've got a good offensive line here. Jim Johnson, a 3-year starter, is going to push his man wide. Evans that time has plenty of time to throw the ball. Coleman has a step. The ball seems to be just a bit high, and Ritter's there to able to strip it from Milt Coleman, the former quarterback, who's trying to come in as a third wide receiver.
Here's Josh Butland, who led the Big Ten in punting 2 years ago inside of 45. But the second straight time when his ball has hit, it's bounced the wrong way for him. So Michigan will have strong field position when we return. Wolverines up 7-0 on the Spartans. There he is, the All-American, Greg Skrepenek, and he said earlier this week, no matter how much fun it is to watch Desmond and Elvin, we are not a showy team. I think we proved that against Florida State. We have to do what we do best, and that is smash-mouth football and wear them down. They did that against Iowa.
Yeah, that's talking like an offensive lineman. They see about 6 inches in front of them. You know, they don't see the big picture.
He's off on the left side. And they give the ball to Ricky Powers, who hammers ahead to the 35-yard line, and then he's pushed back by number 41, Chuck Bulla.
Yeah, Chuck Bulla, the great outstanding tackler, Big Ten's leading tackler. Greg Skrepenek, 6'8", 320 pounds. He gets his feet going, turns his man, but Bull is able to read it. That's the whole object of this defense, the 4-3 defense. Those people up front clean it up for the linebacker to run laterally and make those big hits. As a kid, we had so many offensive linemen that I played with. They all want to run the ball, but I tell you, when you can spread it out and put a lot of pressure on that secondary, it's easier to run the ball, and that's what Howard can do.
Walter Smith in the air. They give it to Powers. A big hole up the middle. He's out past the 40-yard line. We are live at Spartan Stadium in East Lansing, Michigan, where the Wolverines lead Michigan State 7-0 on a Desmond Howard touchdown. And today on ESPN, we'll be bringing you our college football scoreboard at 3:30. Then the PGA Las Vegas Invitational. How about Chip Beck shot a 59 yesterday? Sports Center at 6:30. College football scoreboard presented by Residence Inn. And then number 4 Tennessee, number 10 Florida. Terrific game tonight in our prime time Saturday night special. Powers gets the first down and a bundle more as he's past midfield again.
And there's the advantage again. Ricky Powers running in space. Chico Duckett runs the same play. Got nowhere to go. He's running behind Skrepenik again and Matt Elliott. They're going to go get the guy pushed out. Look at that hole. And that's what you call a pancake right there. Elliott takes his man in and Skrepenik takes his man out, puts him right on his back. And that's the problem Michigan State has. Eric White, just his first start, number 94 for Michigan State against Indiana last week, replacing their all-Big Ten Bill Johnson.
Got Johnson back in there. He gets to the outside and then cruises his way to the 45-yard line, where he is called down again by Chuck Bulla, who averages 17.5 tackles per game.
Jesse Johnson had the big game against Iowa last week, coming in for Powers. He's more of a slasher, takes it up through the hole, coming right at you. Watch these hits now. Here comes the secondary people, the linebackers. Michigan State football from the field.
Yeah, they asked him after his 168-yard game, was that your best career game? He said, hey, that was my only game. You're back to the air. His big tight end over the middle for another Michigan first down, and that's Dave Diebold.
It's so really hard to explain to the fans watching on television just how big and open this field looks to a quarterback up here in the booth because of a Desmond Howard. The linebackers, the defensive backs are turning and running, looking up Desmond Howard, and tight ends and fullbacks are open over the middle of the field to throw the ball. Herbeck is just enjoying this game, 7 for 7 for the TD already.
Completion, but there comes the flag.
Yeah, it looked like Bulla grabbed him as he came across. They were playing a deep double zone, and the middle linebacker can't let that tight end get to the middle. You know you're weak in that position. You get just by the defense. Bullock right there to the left side of your screen is going to come out. He's got Diebold, the tight end. As he gets inside, he knows he potentially has trouble. See that open space? And he grabs him by the leg. That could have been a completed pass had he not done it.
Hey, that's what they did to Desmond Howard in the game last year. That's not pass interference, is it?
Well, in Ann Arbor, it goes the other way, baby. Right here, it's going to be called division.
Before the ball was thrown, the 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
There you see the call. They called holding before it was thrown, automatic first down. You can take a shot at the sideline. Michigan's got 12 coaches on the field. They've got half their team on the field, and then you never know who's going to run out. There it is, a whole committee of people walking out there. You never know who's going to substitute or what formation is going to have.
Howard goes out, and they'll also bring in Tyrone Wheatley at the running back position. So this is their third tailback they've gone to, and they give it to him, and he sweeps left, cuts inside, 15. He's to the 12. Tim Brando, what else is going on?
Desmond Howard will remember Terrell Buckley. Will Fuhrer, the only question mark with his ability has been the picks. He's thrown a number of them, and Terrell Buckley gets one here and goes 71 yards. Guys, I know Deion Sanders brought the tomahawk chop to Atlanta. Terrell Buckley is a clone of Neon Deion in Seminole country.
Second and 3.
I'll tell you, he can run after he makes that interception.
Desmond Howard's got man-to-man coverage here on the outside.
To Desmond, and he makes the catch, but yes, it is a touchdown. He was inbounds.
yards away, and it's like you're playing with little chessmen right here. Every time Desmond has man-to-man coverage, this time he's got it. You loop the ball, and this guy just continues to make these unbelievable catches. One right after another. That has to be about the 5th diving catch I've seen him make for a touchdown this year already. That's as good as you can play wide receiver right there, and an excellent throw by Gerback.
We are seeing the leading candidate for the Heisman Trophy this year. It's games like these on national television where you really shine and you show the rest of America how good you are.
You know, I'm wondering if you could take Buckley and Desmond Howard and just travel. You know, they just play against each other each week and then just have 50,000 people watching.
Michigan rolling this afternoon. 14-0 lead over their arch rivals. 14-0 Michigan has the lead, and Desmond Howard has been the star. His 10 touchdown catches trail only the 14 by Anthony Carter back in 1980 and the 11 he had last year. And this is early in the season.
Early in the season and early in the game, too. Here's the last play. When I said it was man-to-man coverage, here's 10 people over here for the defense. Here's Desmond Howard over here one-on-one. You audible the fade to him, and you've got a touchdown. Boom. Easy throw out to the outside. Lay it to the outside of the field. Nobody has a chance of it. Very safe throw, and it's been working all year.
They took it 71 yards first possession. They go 67 yards in 7 plays, and it's like a computer printout. They do exactly what they want to do, and right now Gerback is perfect through the air, and Hawkins is hoping he'll get it again. Takes it near the 10. Special teams for Michigan State struggled last week against Indiana, and they only give him a 17-yard return as he's competing against Desmond Howard for the kickoff return championship in the nation this year.
Well, his stats, as you said, Desmond Howard's stats have been incredible. I mean, and they've set a pressure point now. Gary Moeller has told the rest of the Big Ten and everybody else now, if you don't stop Desmond Howard, we're going to use him. We're going to beat you with that one guy. If you lay back deep and play the deep zones like Iowa did, we're going to ram it down your throat. Very tough offense to stop right now. That's why a Terrell Buckley from Florida State is just so valuable. He says, I'll take him. You guys stop everybody else.
We got a flag right here. We'll check this. You know, I remember a statement from Al Davis, the owner of the Los Angeles Raiders, who said you start your team with cornerbacks. Why?
Well, because the wide receiver has become such a big part of everyone's offense. People before were afraid to throw the ball on first down, afraid to throw the ball down the field. But now even in the college game, if you've got a great wide receiver that can run a 4.4, 4.3 40, these quarterbacks are coming into the game in college football much more skilled. Coaches have confidence in throwing the ball, that if you don't have people that can run with these receivers, you've got problems.
14-0, Michigan has the lead. 4:39 remaining first period, and Miller goes to duck it again. He scrambles his way out past the 25-yard line, but not much more.
Michigan State continues to shoot themselves in the foot on early downs. Their first down production has not been good enough to keep the pressure on the Michigan defense. And, you know, Michigan State, frankly, they're just not good enough to get these types of situations at third down when third and long. Here's their average on first down, 2 yards. That spells big trouble for Michigan State.
Lloyd Carr, defensive coordinator for Michigan, said we cannot get in a situation where they get 4, 5, 6 yards per crack. And it's that defense that's doing the job. They give it to the fullback, and he gets the first down.
That was the play right there. They spread them all out on the field and ran a little bit of trap inside to Sebastian Small. Toby Heaton, the left guard. Keep your eye on the left guard. Toby Heaton is going to come across and have a little bit of a trap right there. Kicks out. There he is on Mike Evans, and there's Sebastian Small ripping up for the first down. That's the idea, I think, the game plan that Michigan State would like to use. Charlie Baggett said, spread them out and run inside traps.
Well, they're going back to Small, and he's out past the 40-yard line. Just a gain of 1, where it'll be 2nd and 9.
Steve Morrison, inside linebacker, just a sophomore, a true sophomore, who played for injured John Milligan last year, was in on the tackle. He's the second leading tackler for Michigan. He penetrated that time and caused the play to just be almost a no gain, maybe a half a yard.
He is a true sophomore. Played a lot as a true freshman last year. to the original line of scrimmage.
Well, I tell you, they caught the play, too. Michigan had a corner blitz on. Tim Bryan had the play. You can see it. He knows he's coming. He reads it. He's got Tim Bryan wide open to just throw the ball to him, and boom, it's coming out of his hand. I remember Terry Bradshaw used to have that problem when he used to play on a slick day. I think George Perlis brought that play with him from Pittsburgh when Bradshaw used to slip it around. John Miller has thrown some good balls. They've been knocked down. They've been stripped. He's got to just settle down. I believe Michigan State is going to have to throw the ball effectively to move it today.
Bill Coleman comes in on 3rd and 11. He's in the slot, bottom of your screen. They look to Coleman. He was open momentarily. Moore tries to get rid of it, but it's incomplete.
You're right when you said Milt Coleman was open a little bit, but he was open at about 2 or 3 yards down the field. Watch Coleman in the slot. He's going to go down about 3 yards and come across the middle. Miller would like to throw the ball deeper down the field. He doesn't want it. It's 3rd and 10. He's able to get rid of the ball to avoid the sack, but he was looking for somebody down the field for the first down.
Butlin kicks it to Howard, and again it takes a wrong way bounce for Michigan State. They fall on it near the 35-yard line. We've got a great primetime game coming your way tonight at 7:30. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried will be there. Shane Matthews goes against Dale Carter, two superstars in this game, as you can see, of national importance. Number 4, Volunteers against number 10.
You're going to see the ball thrown around in that football game. Spurrier gets out there, Andy Kelly, Pickens, a lot of great football players on the field at one time.
Yeah, we've got the 2 best wide receivers in the country on ESPN. Desmond Howard and Carl Pickens tonight.
Well, I tell you, Courtney Hawkins doesn't have to take a backseat to them. He just doesn't have the offense around him to take advantage of what he can do.
The run and left over Greg Stepanek, and Powers slips and falls after a gain of 2.
Powers.
Penn State up on Miami, Florida, 6-3 second quarter.
Penn State, one of the teams, remember when they knocked off Testaverde for the national championship a few years, that can play the zone defense very smartly and has bothered in the past Miami quarterbacks. Boy, there's Johnson. I'll tell you, does that look like a football player? He's been blocking. He's got his eye been gouged on a pass block so far. He knows he's down 14-0. The guys that he's out with and the home state guys that he's blocking right here playing against them. Now, one of those games you look up at the clock and you say, some way, somehow, we're going to have to get back in this football game.
We met several Spartan fans who said we may lose, but we will not get out hit. 2nd down, 8 yards to go. Powers, nothing there. Good play by true freshman Matt Christensen.
Number 45, a guy they didn't expect to play this year, Rob Fredgerstein and Bringingstill were supposed to play outside linebackers. They hoped to redshirt this guy, but he said, hey, his first start in college against Notre Dame, going to be one of the best they've ever had at Michigan State as an outside linebacker before he's through.
So it's a 3rd down. Long situation for Gerbach. The screen. Johnson the catch. He falls down before he gets the first down. And the Wolverines will have to punt the football for the first time today.
There you see it again. They anticipated Michigan State playing a deep zone. They didn't want to turn over. They don't want to give Michigan State any life. They're going to call the safe screen pass. Had Johnson not slipped, he could have picked up the first down. Michigan State's going to gain a little bit of confidence. They were able to stop that running game and make Michigan punt for the first time in the football game.
Courtney Hawkins is on the sideline, and they are tending to a right ankle. That's why Milt Coleman has gone back to receive this punt. Coleman has brilliant speed, but Hawkins has been their guy there all year long. Coleman at the 10. And once again, they will not have good field position to start with. Dave Ellis, what's going on down on the field?
Well, Stephen, Gary, Courtney Hawkins is being retaped on his right ankle right now. He came off the field in obvious pain after that last drive. He's really disappointed that this has happened, but he expects to get back into the game. Guys?
Ooh, the home run. is out of the lineup right now for Michigan State.
I tell you, the injuries just continue to go. Sometimes it's like you're snake bitten. You know, Michigan State is gone. George Perlis told us 3 or 4 years being relatively injury-free. All of a sudden, all in 1 year, they lose 9, 10 starters off a team that he knew was going to be in a transition period anyway. You know, they haven't had great field position, but they haven't earned any good field position. That's the name of the game so far.
Out past the 20-yard line. That will be the final play of the first quarter. George Perlis, he told us, hey, when you're 0-4, you circle the wagons, you don't worry, you just work a little harder, and he will make no excuses. Michigan leads his Spartans, though, 14-0 at the end of the first period. You know, last year, Michigan State and George Perlis was quoted by a reporter saying, George said the toughest team won. And George said that was not the case. I never said that, as Michigan State beat Michigan 28-27. They're down 14-0 here. And they keep Sebastian Small in the game. And we have a chance to check in with Tim Brando. Tim?
These plays just follow Bobby Bowden around, even if it's not his team. Watch the holder, Scott Frohend of Virginia Tech. He'll take it on the fake, get it down to the 2. They punch it in to tie the game at 14. Then Weldon, a touchdown pass to Kevin Knox. Oh, by the way, Den Mowry missed the PAT yet again.
Virginia Tech is down by 6. How about that?
So much for the kicking game being important to have a #1 team. They might lose a game, but they don't seem to be bothered too much by those one-pointers.
Miller goes to his tight end, and they got the first down. Mitch Lyons. A gain of 12.
85 Lions. Simpson ran him out of bounds. First down.
Michigan's offense has worked like clockwork in this contest in that first quarter storyline. We'll check out Mr. Desmond Howard. Touchdowns 9 and 10 through the air this year, and Gerbeck 9 of 9 for 85 yards, and the 2 scores to Desmond. Meantime, Michigan State has only scored 2 touchdowns this year. Small, trying to get outside, is hit down at the 35-yard line by Eric Anderson, number 37.
Yeah, Neil Simpson, number 65, the outside linebacker, played it off real well, too. He'll play into the field. 230-pound linebacker. He's a senior. He's been around. Inside linebacker in 89. Moved out to outside last year. Got a lot of people on this Michigan defense that can run. Charlie Baggett said the difference between this Michigan defense and past defenses, though, is they got some people that can rush the passer. Some talented linemen like Hutchinson and people that can get in there and put pressure on the pass.
Look at this formation as they give it to Small. They have 2 tight ends, and Small barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. I mean, they had nobody flanked out, so they have the entire Michigan defense right there.
Yeah, it's going to be very tough. Eric Anderson got the first hit in the backfield that time. Got a hit. There's Hawkins. He's a little ginger, though, coming on the field. He is not going to be full strength, it doesn't look like to me. Coming on the field, maybe he can just spread out the defense a little bit by just lining up, but he does not look to be full speed. He scored their only 2 touchdowns of the year. Talk about problems. 20 points.
Howard has scored 12 touchdowns to the Spartans 2. And there's total yards in this game. They need 10 on 3rd down. Miller steps up. Completes the pass to Hawkins. First down inside Michigan territory.
Key on that 27-yard gain coming across the middle. He had time to throw the football. Will Coleman is going to go down the middle of the field. You'll see him come into your picture. Hawkins limping noticeably, gets into the open seam underneath, throwing the ball down the field. That's the part of the Michigan defense that is a little bit suspect. They're secondary. They're going to play that soft zone. You know the Michigan linebackers are going to fight on those play-action passes. Michigan State must throw the ball over the middle behind the linebacker.
38-yard line. McFarland goes in motion. And they give it to Small. And he is cut down immediately by Hutchinson. And also, Tony Henderson, the nose nose guard.
Sebastian Small has to understand the play. Michigan State went unbalanced line to the left. They have no one on the backside to pick up that defensive end. When he cut it back, he was running into a player, Simpson, who was unblocked on the play. It either goes outside, it stays outside when they're on balance. If you cut it back, there's nothing there. It's not a cutback play.
Second down at 9. Rollins and Duffy back in the game in the offensive backfield. Duckett, touchdown at the 35-yard line on a brilliant tackle by number 43, Pat Maloney.
Michigan was in the game that time with a nickel. That's why Maloney was in the game. They blitzed. Maloney was coming up to cover the man, and that's why he was there to make the play. Here's the key right here, though. Michigan State is controlling the clock a little bit, keeping Desmond Howard off the field, stringing some first downs together. The problem is this is the third down on this drive. Can he do it again and get the first down? Too many times in third down, they're going to have problems.
And they are only 23% this year on third down conversions. They got 27 the last time. Miller back underneath, catches, make no! He dropped the ball.
Had plenty of time to throw the ball again, kind of aimed it. Could have ripped it in there a little bit harder. He had the person there, and the ball was just a little bit low thrown, and Hawkins wasn't able to dig it out. You're going to see the protection coming back. That's superior protection. He's going to bounce in the pocket. He throws it low. That's what you're supposed to do, but just a little bit to the outside. Hawkins could have made a great grab there, but wasn't able to come up with it.
Steve Morrison right on top of him. It's fourth down, and they will go for the field goal.
Well, I don't like this right here. This is too far, 52 yards, and you do not want to get Michigan the ball on the 35-yard line going in. I would be punting that ball.
Jim Delver from 52 yards out. His career long is 45.
He's got a good wind behind him. He could reach it. There's no doubt about that. But if he misses it, Michigan has the ball on the 35-yard line.
45-yarder came 2 years ago at Ohio University, and then he transferred.
And the reason it's so important is because the 35-yard line, Michigan can run all their plays. Back at the 10, you still have a tendency to closer to the vest. Let's see what happens.
They're going for it. He hammers it pretty well, but it will be wide to the right. And Michigan retains their 14-0 lead, and good field position right here.
Well, there was no doubt that he had the leg to get it there, but that's still a tough kick. Anytime you get over 45 yards. Coach Perles is trying to manufacture some points. He needs points, but that was a very risky play.
10:57 remaining in the first half. Wolverines up by 2 touchdowns. ESPN's presentation of college football, Michigan and Michigan State, is brought to you by Jeep. There's only one Jeep, and by Edge Shaving Gel. For less irritation, you've got the edge. The number 5 team in the nation, the Michigan Wolverines, with a 14-0 lead and excellent field position at their own 35-yard line.
35.
Michigan comes out, 2 tight ends this time. Desmond Howard not in the game.
Way forward for about 5, and let's find out what else is going on in college football from Tim Brando.
Fellas, fever has been giving Georgia Tech's Sean Jones some problems. He's been in and out of the game. Here's David Hendricks taking it in from 8 yards out. The Ramblin' Wreck up on the Terrapin 7-3. We'll update you on Sean Jones's health throughout the day.
Thank you, Tim. 14-0. Wolverines with the lead as Desmond Howard has scored 2 touchdowns. He is wide left. Second down. And 3.
Oh, here he comes.
He's got the first down, and a nice open field tackle by Brian Winters.
That's what you have to do. Play good, solid defense and stay home. That time, Brian Winters, the sophomore, who's taken over for Darren Eaton, the senior who was there, stayed home and made a good open field tackle on one of the toughest guys to tackle in the open field. A sellout reverse right here. You see him run by Christensen, the outside linebacker, but here he comes. Stayed at home, kept his arms up, made the tackle, and grabbed on anything he could grab.
And Howard patted him on the back when he got up. And you got me that time. Yet again. Near midfield. Gain of 3.
Remember, I don't know if you saw our open people, but we saw how Florida State would crowd the Michigan receivers. Michigan State doesn't have the type of speed. Look at how deep the secondary is right here. They got people 20 yards away from the ball. That means they've only got 4 people back here to stop the running game. 7 people back to stop the running game. That's very tough to play a deep zone against a team that can run the ball effectively like Michigan.
He smashes forward and is close to a first down. I think he has it near the 42-yard line. We have 80,157 today at Spartan Stadium, a new record for a Michigan State game. Steve Pizziak and Gary Danielson. The Wolverines have a 14-0 lead on 2 touchdowns by Desmond Howard.
I never know how they can keep having new records. You know, are the fans losing weight or something? They keep putting in more people every year. Every year it's a new record. I know they didn't make this place any bigger.
Bowers now is 38 yards rushing. Play action. Gerback unloaded. Almost intercepted by Winters, and he would have been gone.
I'll tell you, Michigan State busted that time. Nobody covered Yale Van Dyne, and that's why they had a position right there for somebody to Winters to make the pickoff. Gerback didn't look downfield. It didn't see. Yale Van Dyne's walking back and kind of waving at Moeller as he walks back. He said, Coach, they don't have much respect for me. I know I'm a little slow. They call me a procession receiver, but somebody's got to go with me, Coach. I'll tell you. The second leading receiver on the football team coming up and doing a credible job replacing Derek Alexander.
And that is Gerback's first incompletion of the day.
It almost wasn't incomplete to the other team.
You're right. Acrobatic catch.
Not almost, he did it.
No, they said it's incomplete.
Oh my gosh. He tipped it up and he came close. It must have got after he bounced it up. But good throw, a zone cut right there, threw it into position. You see it, even though he's pressed man-to-man, he's going to fall back into a zone. They're trying to give the look of a zone of man-to-man, but after he comes out of it, it was just a curl. The ball was a little high and he didn't come up with it.
So it's 3rd down and 10. And Howard goes wide right. Spartans need a big play. And it's almost picked up again. This time Aaron Jackson.
The redshirt freshman would have liked to have that one. That was a middle screen to the wide receiver trying to get Desmond Howard the ball underneath the lineman as they go out right here. Watch the lineman. They're going to try to set him up. There goes Everett. There goes Kozo down. There you see.
Oh, man.
Desmond Howard is trying to come behind it, and Aaron Jackson thinks, oh, I could have had a touchdown. No, you wouldn't have had a touchdown, but you'd had another 10 yards.
That much, huh?
Well, the guy chasing him was Desmond Howard. I don't think he would have gone too far.
We've got a flag down near midfield.
Oh, I'll tell you, this is just absolutely unbelievable for Michigan State right here. Norm Parker told us one of the key mistakes that was made early in the year is they roughed the punter for Central Michigan. They finally get a stop right here. They rough the punter, and Michigan is going to get the ball after great defense and stopping the drive. They did not have the block on that time. Stewart came in and was just a little too aggressive and just made a bad play. I mean, that wasn't bad coaching or anything like that. That was a young kid just being a little too aggressive.
Last week they had too many penalties. They had a block for a touchdown. They had a field goal that was blocked. They had all kinds of problems at a 31-0 loss at Indiana.
Boy, that's a crusher right here because it's still a game 14-0 where if you feel like if you score, you're in the ballgame. Now Michigan pushes it in 21-0.
Let's see if they go for with a home run on first down. Play action. Howard's open. And they throw it to Van Dyne. He makes the catch inside the 10-yard line.
Gail Van Dyne on this is like how you draw up plays if you're a coach right here. You get somebody to the outside. Desmond Howard is going to come deep on the post. Gail Van Dyne is going to come down right underneath it. You just read the linebackers with the play action and hold the linebackers, and you just throw in between the zones right here to the wide receiver coming across. Ball was thrown low. All the receivers like a low pass over the middle.
17 yards of the play. First and goal. Straightened up near the 7-yard line.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Michigan State, there's not much they can do right here. Desmond Howard has beaten them twice inside the 10-yard line on touchdowns because man-to-man coverage. That time they lined up again, man-to-man coverage, and Gerback tried to run the ball this time. Maybe he's tried to spread the points around a little bit, but he had the matchup with Desmond Howard. He wanted it, and he went away from it.
10th play of this drive coming, and it continues on the personal foul, roughing the kicker. So now second and goal from the 7.
This time they're backed off in the zone. He doesn't have to look.
They do. And Powers inside the 3, near the goal line. Alan Haller making the touchdown-saving tackle.
I'm sure people are outside saying, like, now how can anybody be so sure of what's going to happen? But it's very simple. It's checkers right here. When Michigan State backs off, they run the ball. Look at the hole right there. They got one less man from the secondary to come up and make the hit. And when the hit comes up from the secondary, it's 5-6 yards down the field. Haller comes up to make the hit, but it's too late.
Howard with a pair of touchdowns, numbers 11 and 12 this year. And now it's third and goal from the 1. Leggett, Powers in the backfield. Play action, Gerback unloads, touchdown! Dave Debo.
Again, a little bit of a bootleg that time. John McNeil, the defensive end, had the coverage right here on the tight end. He's going to have to play a man-to-man. They fake in here, come out on the bootleg, comes out, and you've got an easy touchdown. By faking up the middle, he blocks for 1 second, and it's just pitch and catch to the outside for a 21-0 game. Well, 20-0. The way they've been kicking extra points this year, nobody knows about these extras. 3 touchdown passes isn't bad either, I'll tell you.
2 to Howard, 1 to Debo. That's his first this year. And it is 21-0 Michigan. Spartans giving the Wolverines too many opportunities to hammer them. And they are right now 21-0 in the first half.
Ray Goff and the Georgia Dogs coming off that upset of Clemson, having to play in Oxford today against Mississippi. Here's Marvin Courtney going 3 yards off the left side. And the Rebels have the first touchdown of the afternoon for them. They are tied at 7 in the first quarter.
And Tim, in less than 25 minutes, Michigan has already scored more points than Michigan State has all year long. 21-0, and the Spartans have only scored 20 points this season. 2 touchdowns, a pair of field goals.
Well, it begins to get scary now for Michigan State. They wanted to keep this game close. George says, yeah, the home field is a great advantage. There you're looking at Todd Collins. He's 5 for 5, the backup quarterback. Went to the same high school as Matt Rogers, the outstanding quarterback for Iowa, came here. And Todd Collins could maybe see an opportunity to play today if it keeps bad like this. But Michigan State now wanted to keep this game close. They wanted to get these fans into this football game. And George says, yeah, the fans are with you until the second half, and you're getting beat. Then it might be a home field advantage for Michigan if we don't do so.
Ty Halleck at the 25-yard line. There's Elvis Gerback. He leads the Big Ten in touchdown passes this year with 14. Came in with 11. He's hit Howard twice. He just went to Debo. 3 scores in the game, only 3 incompletions.
Well, I tell you, it doesn't look hard to throw out here when you got guys wide open. He's throwing the ball, nice easy throws. Made a nice throw to Van Dyne coming on a crossing route. But the man who really changes the game is Desmond Howard. And give credit to Gary Moeller for using him. I mean, he doesn't just have him flanked out there and just running down the field clearing it. I mean, mean, look at that, 1.6 yards on first down. Michigan State needs to throw the ball on first down to move it. Michigan is too tough.
Duckett, still 1.6 average on first down. Evans there, Henderson there, and the crowd will boo because they want a little more imagination from their offense. But George Furless, hey, they've been successful with this. 7 straight winning seasons. He ain't going to change.
And you know, Michigan State doesn't need imagination. They need players. They've got too many players that are first-year players injured. They've got a new quarterback. They just aren't matching well right now, talent versus talent. And I'm sure that's tough to take for these Spartan fans.
Coleman goes in motion. Miller hits his man up near a first down. That's wide receiver Courtney Hawkins, who again is playing on the moderate ankle sprain, right ankle.
Good read here right now by the quarterback. You're going to see Milt Coleman come out. They're going to try to pick for him right here, but since it's a zone, Courtney Hawkins will sit back in that zone right there. Miller makes the read, goes for the pick. Don't pick, it's a zone. Throw it in between the zone. Now what Miller has to do is throw a more accurate pass. He's got to get Hawkins that ball so he can turn and run with it. And I'll tell you, Courtney Hawkins is hurting. He got up limping on that play.
They got the first down. They'll run the ball on first down, and they're past the 40-yard line out near the 44. It'll be second down and 6. We've got a dandy of a matchup on our first NFL game coming up in a couple of weeks, 7:30 Eastern Time, October 27th. The Redskins, one of the best teams in the NFL, against the New York Giants, the Super Bowl champion. That's right here on ESPN Sunday Night Football. Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann to bring it away.
Yeah, let's get those guys off the golf course. Back to work. Unbalanced line to the left.
You gonna make it?
On play action. No gain, just a yard.
Tony Rowland, the fullback that time, got the ball. There was no position for him to turn up, and they got the minimum out of the play. Completed a pass. Good defense by Michigan that time. They got the minimum. Made him throw to the fullback in the flat when he wanted to go downfield. Rowland goes about 220 and just a junior fullback and can catching the ball. That's going to be a real forte in the future for Michigan State if they can pick up this offensive passing attack. The fullback that can catch the ball.
Jim Miller in his second career start, starting the first 3 games with Brett Johnson. He's got a 3rd and 5. And it's intercepted at the 35-yard line.
Give the credit to Steve Morrison, inside linebacker, number 36. Tried to get the ball downfield to McFarland. Coleman Wallace is going to get the interception, but watch number 36 is going to cross. Or is it Anderson, number 37? No, it is. Number 36, Steve Morrison, gets the tip. Lands right into the hands of Corley Wallace for the interception right there.
And Michigan already leading 21-0, 4.5 to play in the first half, has it again. Elvis Gerback, his career best touchdown passes in a game is 4. He's done it this year against Florida State. He has 3 already, 11 of 14. Punishing Michigan State secondary, and Elvis Gerback has been so successful. I mean, he's doing everything.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been able to distribute the ball across the field right here. But I got the answer for Michigan State right here now. Here, they got to put their guys in this zone and this zone and this zone over here. Don't even cover on this half of the field. Gerback doesn't. He's not a pull hitter. He wants to throw to the right side of the field. So Michigan State should put all their guys on this side over here and just leave that open on the other side.
So they got to eliminate the curl from Gerback's offensive scheme, huh? That right side curl.
I'll tell you, the other
He's 0 for 1.
that Michigan is doing right here is they've run the ball 15 times and they've passed the ball 14 times. When you have that type of balance, it's tough on a defense. Gary
Moeller was saying, hey, Big Ten football has changed. You have to have the balance. It's no more 3 yards and a cloud of dust. Michigan State right there, fighting like crazy is Tyrone Wheatley.
Yeah, Wheatley, one of the most highly recruited players ever to come out of the state of Michigan, getting a little playing time today. He's a sprint champion, a long jump champion. There goes Mueller. He can signal in the plays. He calls the defenses, calls the formations. You can see people going on and off the field from the sideline. Really high tech. I never thought Michigan would be high tech like this.
Well, he just gave him the steal sign. Walter Smith in the game. 3rd down, 7 yards to go. They run Powers, and Powers gets the 1st down.
A little bit of a draw that time against the nickel defense. Bernie Leggett, a fullback who Gary Moeller said has been replacing Jared Bunch, their great fullback from last year. Watch Leggett on the draw come out here. See if you can get it on the left side of your screen. He cuts down the defender, and that's really what springs the 1st down for Ricky Powers, breaks them into the secondary for the big 1st down.
72 yards rushing for Powers in the game, and there's Leggett. And Ricky now has 590 yards rushing on the year. He's going for Howard. It's broken up by Winters.
I'll tell you, Winters made the play defensively, but this was a poor throw by Gerback. Right here, Powers is going to, Desmond's going to come across the field. The ball is thrown behind him a little bit, and that gives the possibility for Winters to break it down. Play action pass. If he keeps leading him across the field, it's going to be a touchdown. Now watch him bend back into the coverage, and that's what allows Winters to get his hand on the ball. A poor throw that time by Gerback.
2nd down 10. Leggett. A gain of 3 or 4 but for the inside defense. Obradovich, Bulla there, Matt Christensen.
Kind of is different to watch right here. You see all the linemen from Michigan. I don't know, maybe it's because they're all 300 pounds. They're too tired to huddle up. They're so big, you might as well just line up. Nobody can see through them to hear anything, so you just call the plays behind them. They all look at the sideline. They find out what the play is. Desmond, you go over here, get open, I'll throw you the ball. That's the play on this one.
Nickel defense in for Michigan State on 3rd down and 6 for the Wolverines. Last time they had a 3rd and passing situation, they ran the ball to Powers. They'll throw it here. Knocked down. It's 4th down, and making the play, John McNeil.
McNeil, who transferred in from New Hampshire, first career sack last week against Indiana. He's in there playing and fighting, and you can tell he's tired. That's one thing that the no-huddle offense does to the defense. You just really never catch your breath out there. But he's in there fighting 6'4", and was able to swat that one away. I'll tell you, let's not rough the punter here, guys. Get the ball back.
That is Kona. Bill Coleman near his 10-yard line. Oh, they're playing for the return. And a flag will go down. And it is in the end zone, so Michigan State will have the football at the 20-yard line, but again, a flag is down.
I tell you, if it's against Michigan State, I wouldn't be surprised if Michigan goes for it on 4th down.
Looks like it's against the Wolverines.
Michigan, you bet. And they'll take the penalty and take the ball on the 20-yard line. They'll decline the
High ball, illegal procedure. Only 6 men on the line of scrimmage.
That'll do it to you.
Illegal procedure.
George Perlis,
Against Michigan.
a man who does not make excuses. He knows the Spartans will be back.
Oh, absolutely. This is a guy that teaches rough football. He teaches tackling and blocking, and his kids love playing for him. And, yeah, he talks in some cliches sometimes. When you get those little sound bites on television, you say, oh, not that again, George, But I tell you, it's when you're talking to your own kids, sometimes those cliches are there for a reason, because they work and they're true, and that's what he says.
And there's a lot of discussion on campus this week about him taking over that dual responsibility of football coach and athletic director. The Spartans, a little down right now. Wolverines lead by 3 touchdowns.
Center on November 1st.
Michigan leading 21-0. You can see the sign, hey, George, here's the end zone. They've only been in there twice in this game. And they give the football to Tico Duckett, and he has the 1st down out near the 35-yard line.
Duckett carries over the 30.
15 yards in the 1st down.
And Davis on 1st down.
Ooh, look at that score. Number 9, Penn State tie with Miami, 6-6. They've just started the third quarter, and we will keep you up to date on that game throughout this afternoon's Michigan State-Michigan football game.
I don't like to root for anybody, but I picked Penn State to win the national championship, so I might root for them.
Duckett out past the 40 and out near first down. I think he will be marked about a yard shy, but it'll be 2nd and 1, and Jim Miller finally has a little room to work with.
And Steve Morrison looks like he's hurt a little bit too, number 36 for Michigan. He's down on the field.
You know, the Wolverines have been blessed without many injuries in a rough first 4 games.
Yeah, and that's really the key, is when you can go through those games and get by without the injuries that you usually get. There's Lloyd Carr on your left side of the screen, defensive coordinator for Michigan Wolverines right there. He was telling us, boy, we played some great football teams, and he wants to get through this Michigan State game and get on to the rest of the Big Ten. He just said one great quarterback after another he's faced.
And he had his linebacker coach off to the left of him talking immediately with Marcus Walker, who would go in there for Steve Morrison.
Yeah, Marcus Walker, just a redshirt freshman also. Morrison, looks like they're with the knee a little bit there.
You know, they're also looking at his calf, and remember the Michigan State game last year. After the game during practice, he was kicked in the calf. Continued practice, and blood filled up in the calf, and he was close to a situation where he may not have been able to play football again in his career.
Steve Morrison attended Birmingham Brother Rice, who a lot of great football players have come out and played around the country. And it's been kind of a pipeline both for Michigan State and Michigan. Great players coming out of there.
Matt Dyson will come in along with Simpson, and this is our Saturday schedule today. College football scoreboard coming away at 3:30, and then the Las Vegas Invitational, where Chip Beck was outstanding yesterday. Sports Center at 6:30, 7 o'clock, it's the Residents and Scoreboard, and then our primetime game, number 4, Tennessee against number 10, Florida. Steve Spurrier will try and air it out against Johnny Majors. Here it's 2nd and 1.
Great situation here. 2nd and inches. They can throw the ball downfield.
They'll run it. Duckett gets the first down.
Minute 20 to go. They've got all 3 timeouts. They could get into the end zone here. It'd be a great lift going into halftime for the Spartans. Marcus Walker's coming in right here. You see him going to play the play. The redshirt freshman gets his hands out, keeps his eye on the ball. Just got to wrap it up, and he gets the tackle. Good job.
See Hutchinson, number 90.
You can always
comes
see
from behind.
Hutchinson.
Boy, he's everywhere. Mitch Lyons. Another 9-yard gain.
Let's use the timeout now. Let's use a timeout and get situated. Yes, good call.
A minute 3 remaining. And we will keep it right here as the Michigan State Spartans trying to score just their 3rd touchdown this season.
Michigan so far in this drive is just laid back in the deep zone. They've been willing to give up the screen, the short pass over the middle, and that's what Miller's taking advantage of. Now it's going to get tougher, though. He's still got 45 yards. I know Michigan would love to keep their shutout, but I'm sure they'd be happy to get out of here with just a field goal also.
Well, coming up at halftime, we'll update you on what's going on around college football. Tim Brando and Lee Corso. Top 25 scores and highlights. Again, that Penn State-Miami game. We will look at that and a look at the day's other big games, including number 1 Florida State and Virginia Tech. And Virginia Tech, the Hokies, will give them a tough tussle.
Well, they caught him at a good time, too. They played 2 big games, and that was the real, fear that Gary Moeller had going into this Michigan State game. He said, yeah, this is a rivalry, but we've had big back-to-back games here, and we've got to keep our emotion level up, because even though their record says 0-4, this is going to be Michigan versus Michigan State, and he was afraid that emotions would raise Michigan State to a level and knock them off in a game where, on paper, at least, they should win the football game.
Yeah, they beat Notre Dame. They lost to Florida State, and then really just jumped on Iowa last week, winning by 19 points. There's Steve Everett, the center for Michigan, his football helmet, and I'm telling you what, this guy's scary. It's Notre Dame that he went out with a broken jaw, and he's already back.
Yeah, we got a great story on that one where Moeller said he could have played. The doctor said he could have played last week, except he couldn't get his helmet on, and the pain was still excruciating. I said, who is this doctor?
And then Moeller says, he's an art major.
That's right.
What does that mean?
Well, it's all smiles on that bench. When you have a 21-0 lead, that's the fun way to play.
2nd and 1. They run Duckett again for the first down.
Yeah, Marcus Walker again was able to grab it on this shoestring. Duckett has just got to kick through that play just a little bit quicker. He's reading it. He's got great vision. He's got unbelievable speed, and he's on a track team and runs Michigan State track. He gets in the secondary, could go all the way, but he's not kicking through those tackles on his shoes and to make the big play yet.
They stopped the clock to move the chains. Now they're moving again. We're inside 50 seconds remaining. First half. Miller has time, completes the pass to Lyons. First down. Gain of 11.
42 seconds, either just to get up there and ground the ball quickly into the play, call a play. He cannot huddle up. There's not enough time to keep huddling up. The clock does stop on first down, so there is an advantage for him. He's got to run this play, get up there and run a play. They've started the clock. Let's see how long it takes him to get it stopped.
Hawkins is right. Miller steps up. Again, he goes underneath the coverage.
Timeout.
Short game inside the 25-yard line. 26 seconds, now 25, as they finally call the time.
Again, Michigan just sitting back in the zone, and they've taken advantage of it by just throwing the ball underneath against the zone. Michigan across the field. These guys are playing the zone defense. They're going to go deep down the field, and they're just going to hook in the zones right here and try to find the open man to move the chains. Pass it up, everybody hooked, find the spot. Michigan's going to make it happen in front of them. They still feel you still got to go those last 25 yards, which is the toughest.
And Michigan State is down to their final timeout. They have the football at the 23-yard line. And Gary Moeller's defense, which has been outstanding in this first half, bending a little bit here in the closing moments of the second quarter.
Well, going into this drive, Michigan State's play selection was 9 runs and 1 pass. You know, and had 1.8 yards. So now they're throwing the ball a little bit. Yes, it's a 2-minute drill when they've had to, but I think the only really way they're going to move it against this Michigan defense is to mix it up more on first down.
And Jim Miller, the Michigan State quarterback, a little more comfortable on this drive. He's 4 for 4 for 35 yards. He is only a sophomore in his second career start.
Yeah, as you said, went to the same high school as Kirk Gibson, you know, the great Michigan State Spartan. You know, it was probably before Bo Jackson. I mean, one of the guys who could have played both at the same time.
Miller's got him on the 8th play of this drive. 25 seconds remain before halftime. McFarland out of bounds, first down. 20 seconds remain.
I'll tell you, super throw that time by Jim Miller to McFarland. He had a guy right in his face when he let that thing go. He had the long throw across the field, and he put it right there. Have a chance now. When you're on the 15-yard line, now you have the ability to throw the ball in the end zone. Still plenty of time, 20 seconds to go. And you have a timeout. You got to get some people now up the seams. You have to expect now that you get the ball in the seams. You're thinking, you're reminding your guys, watch for the blitz. Remember your hot.
Showing that Wolf defense. 5 defensive backs. Miller with time. He hits his man again. McFarland out of bounds this time with 15 seconds left. A gain of 9.
Super read that time. He had McMillan Coleman going to the corner of the end zone. It was a deep zone. He went to a secondary receiver and delivered the ball. Miller has a nice arm. He's able to deliver it. He has good feet. He just stands there in a pocket on the balls of his feet and throws a nice pass.
You know, Gary, I may be wrong, but are they rolling that zone towards Hawkins?
Well, they're playing to the field right now. They're playing wide side field, so they're throwing into the hash mark, and that's pretty common in college football.
Timeout, Michigan. Spartan Stadium alive. 80,157 on hand to witness the 84th meeting between arch rivals Michigan and Michigan State. And Gary Moeller, who has never beat George Perlis or Michigan State in his career, trying to lock this one down.
There you see passing coordinator Charlie Baggett, the old Michigan State quarterback. who's coordinating the passing game for Michigan State. Pat Morris, the offensive line coach, coordinates the running game. And George Perlis coordinates both of those ones. Everything goes through George. Now, the strategy here right now for Michigan State is they know they have a timeout. And they realize, let's get rid of the ball quickly on this pass right here. And you always have the threat with that timeout against Michigan that you can run the draw or the trap. If you didn't have that timeout available to you, you'd be forced to throw the ball. So they still have, even though there's only 15 seconds to go, the ability to run or pass the ball.
Is that why maybe the timeout? Because they were showing 3 wideouts and no tight end.
Well, with the clock stopped, Michigan said, hey, let's regroup. Let's go through. Let's remind each other what we're going to do. Maybe they design a little bit of a blitz package right here and just go over their assignments at the sideline. It doesn't cost them anything. Timeouts at halftime are wasted anyway. It's not like you can save them for the second half. This would get the crowd back in the game if they could find that end zone right here. If I was Miller, if I was Baggett, I'd say to the guys, let's look for the blitz. Let's anticipate it.
2nd and 1. Coleman to the right side. In the end zone. Touchdown! Courtney Hawkins!
A little bit of a rollout. Michigan did come with the blitz. They caught him in man-to-man. Hawkins comes out. The ball's thrown to the outside on the run by Miller. Gladstone is not able to run with Hawkins, and he puts the ball for a big touchdown for the Spartans to get back in this football game. Great call because they anticipated the blitz, brought their quarterback outside, and Miller had the ability to either throw it away or get the big score.
Jim Delvin for the point after. It is good. And Michigan State has scored 3 touchdowns this year, and that man Courtney Hawkins has them all. It's 21-7. Michigan still leads by 2 touchdowns, but hey, the Spartans are on the board with 11 seconds remaining in this first half.
The Spartans have had a lot of great receivers. You know, Mark Ingram, Andre Rison, but Courtney Hawkins is right up there with those types of players. He can play. We got the tomahawk going here right now. I'm going to try to figure out what that means here at Spartan land, but hey, let's enjoy it, Spartans. We got into the end zone, you know. What George needed was that sheet, that sign. He really wasn't sure where the end zone was, but that sign now, he figured, oh, there we go.
The sign said, hey, George, this is the end zone, and that man, Courtney Hawkins, found it.
Well, I think they're going to be going to halftime now. You know, had they not roughed the punter, and Michigan scores that extra touchdown when they were able to stop them, this would be a 14-7 game. Anytime you're within 2 touchdowns, you have the ability to turn the game around. And Michigan State now goes in at halftime 2 touchdowns down.
Look at that drive. They go 80 yards, and he's 7 of 7. I think Mr. Miller might be going back to the air in the second half hour.
Outstanding student, outstanding high school worker. You know, he's a high school baseball pitcher. He's got a super arm. Came in here and he's worked hard to get the job, and he's earned it. You know, playing against Michigan, that's such a thrill for a Michigan kid to come to Michigan State and play against these guys in this type of game.
Now Delvern's job, don't kick it to number 21.
Right.
He's averaging 44.8 yards per kickoff return
If he
this
kicks
year.
it to Desmond Howard, he should just run right off the field and look for another profession.
Hey, look who's going to get it. Howard. And look at this. Oh, man, if he had just gotten past number 75, and that is Aaron Jackson, he may have gone all the way.
You never know when Magic gets his hands on the ball. He's all smiles right there. They did try to pooch it away from him. It was just bounced to him, so he got his hands on the ball. 6 seconds to go right here. Michigan State should be in a deep kickoff return defense.
First down, Michigan. At the Wolverines 29.
6 seconds remaining before we send it to Tim Brando and Lee Corso.
Let's see how they run the draw here with 3 wide receivers. Yep.
Tyrone Wheatley, short gain, and that will be it. So after this commercial break, Tim and Lee will have all the scores and a look at college football today. 21-7, Michigan leading Michigan State.
Jeep Cherokee Sport is the perfect vehicle for traveling America's most famous roads, like Wall Street.
Near the 40-yard line, where he's called down by Aaron Jackson. number 98.
Michigan's
showing their...
Right, we talked about how it's able to throw the ball short against...
On Division I AA games, New Hampshire now leading making a bit of a comeback against the mighty Wolverines. Right now, they're down by 2 touchdowns at the intermission.
Major mission of intercollegiate athletics today is to provide broad-based, equitable opportunities for men and women student athletes. I'm proud that our NCAA institutions have made the commitment they have made to providing the number of educational opportunities that we've provided.
Michigan's got a pretty good one right now. Back out to Steve and Gary at East Lansing.
Thank you, Tim. We're ready for the third quarter of action, but Michigan with 21 points early. Michigan State with a great drive of 80 yards to close the second half. And a check of those halftime stats. Pretty good passing in this game, particularly by Miller, who completed 9 of his last 10.
Right. Remember, about 75 of those yards were in that 2-minute drive, but 12 for 17, and he's had about 3 balls dropped, so he's been very accurate. I think the key stat, had they not roughed the punter for another touchdown, is Michigan State had the ball for more possession time than Michigan. That's what I really thought was going to be the key to this football game, if they could keep Desmond Howard off the field.
And there he is, the magic man. 2 touchdowns already. He has 12 touchdowns this season, and he's 2 catches away from 100 in his outstanding career.
I don't know. You know, at Michigan State, you're not allowed to call anybody the magic man except for the real magic man right here. Here's where Desmond Howard has caught the ball in this game. Not down the field. Remember, Michigan State is playing a deep zone. You're catching the ball at 10, 12 yards and throwing the ball to him short, and then letting him make the touchdown runs or the touchdown catch after the scrimmage. Good deep defense by Michigan State.
Well, the Wolverines will get it first, and Delburn to kick off. Trying to pick it away from Howard again, and they will successfully to Tyrone Wheatley, who tripped up at his 25-yard line and hauled down near the 27. Elvis Gerback comes out at quarterback, has thrown for 3 touchdowns in this game, 14 now already on the year.
Again, he's distributing the football very well across the field. Seems to be throwing the ball more to the right. A couple of screen passes in the backfield right here, and he got the couple deep ones down the middle of the field. Distributing the ball around the field. Hasn't been throwing to his left so far in this football game.
First time they took the football on their first possession and drove for a score. Quarterback trying with Powers this time to the 30, near the 35-yard line, and again, it'll be second down and short.
Well, that Michigan offensive line, they like to run to the left behind Skretnick and Elliott, and they get the advantage of using Steve Everett, the center at that time. But Elliott is so valuable. I mean, this kid played hockey in high school. Watch the right side of your screen. He's going to get the push on Bullock, and he just keeps running him right by the runner right there. Powers. That's what a good guard does. Get on your man and keep pushing him the way he wants to go, and the running back runs the daylight.
Gain of 8. Ricky now has 80 yards in the afternoon. He'll run right. He's got the first down. Near the 40-yard line, where he's hauled down by Aaron Jackson. Ernest Stewart there again, number 98.
Michigan's
going there.
Right, we talked about how it's able to throw
that zone. Ricky Powers, though, is the beneficiary of that 86 yards because they're only running it against 7 men. Michigan State is forced to move that secondary back because of the ability of Michigan to throw the ball. Pretty simple game plan so far for both teams.
Straight time. This time a short gain out near the 45-yard line. In a 4, Stewart making the tackle. It'll be second down and 6.
Well, I tell you, that time Leggett came up and put one on Ed Obradovich, defensive tackle that time on an isolation-type play, and Obradovich had to leave the game with a little bit of a shoulder stinger. Ed Obradovich is the son of Ed Obradovich Sr., the former Bear player, came here as a walk-on and is now playing because of the injury.
Straight run. He breaks away one tackle. He's in the defensive backfield to the 35. Powers inside the 25-yard line to the 22.
If they're
there's one deep difference between this Michigan State defense that we've all been so familiar with in the past, I think, is their tackling in their secondary. They are making too many missed tackles right here. They got Powers right there. Wrap them up. Make the tackle. Eric White misses one. Now he runs through another tackle right here in the secondary, and Ricky Powers makes a play that should gain 4 or 5 yards into a 20, 25-yard running play, which is too much. It's so different from Michigan State secondaries in the past.
33 yards on that play. He now has 123 in the game. Look at this. Leggett just smashing his way forward and close to another first down.
Well, usually, like, if you try to draw the comparison with a boxer, you hit him with the head body punches and then you come back with the right cross later in the game. Michigan has done the opposite. They've hit him with the fancy stuff with Desmond Howard early, and now have come back to the body game, and the holes are now available to him.
And they will measure here.
Talked about Bernie Leggett earlier in that game and how he's been able to replace their #1 draft pick at fullback, Jared Bunch, from last year's team. And Coach Moeller said that he really is providing, and he's really turning into a great Michigan fullback. There you see it. Michigan's got about 15 guys in the huddle, 12 coaches, 3 alumni, a president, half the band in that huddle on the sideline. And nobody knows what they're going to come out with here on first down.
Well, they've got Johnson in Michigan State. Boy, they need a turnover. They have not forced one on this afternoon. They got whistled before the play as Johnson was trying to go right side.
I really think they should change that rule. That is not fair to the defense to have that many people in that sugar huddle to the sideline. See what the call is here.
Dead ball.
Dead ball.
Ball start. Offense.
So it'll be first and 15.
I don't know if you get a spot right there. Gary Moeller's about 7 yards onto the field right here calling a play. That should not be legal. He's got 6 other players on the field around him, and Michigan State is at a huge disadvantage. That's well within the rules. It's nothing illegal he's doing, but I think that rule has to be cleared up. That's too big of an advantage to the offense.
Gerbeck has a first and 15, 6th play of this drive, and the first 5 have been run. They're going to go to Johnson anyway. Look at him run, and it is a touchdown! 17 yards for the score. Jesse Johnson, 27-7 Michigan.
Here it is. You're right on the field. You're the free safety right here. Johnson's going to split the crack. Boy, I'll tell you, that's a nice cutback run right there. He's into the secondary, and by the time he gets in the end zone before he even gets touched on the play, Steve Everett, the center, did a great job of pushing his man past the hole, and Johnson cuts back to get the big gain.
Jesse Johnson. He had that brilliant game against Iowa last week, and now J.D. Carlson comes on to make it 28-7 Michigan. 12 minutes and 48 seconds to play in the third period. Wolverines hammering their arch rivals.
Tim Brando back in our college football studios. As promised, we are going to keep a very watchful eye on number 9 Penn State and number 2 Miami. Early fourth quarter. And Toretta will drop straight back and look for Lamar Thomas. And again, he beats the coverage of the Nittany Lions. But Carlos Huerta missed a second extra point. He missed his first ever in a number of tries last week, you'll recall, fellas.
Thank you, Tim. We've got a 28-7 Michigan lead here. Gerbeck has thrown for 3 touchdowns, and the Wolverine cheerleaders.
Right, they know it's national television. I mean, we bring it to him nationally. There he is. Johnson, the former Bishop Gallagher star, redshirted last year when Ricky Powers, another freshman, got off as a tailback, and they come back, and it's like a bottomless pit of running backs at Michigan, I tell you.
Yeah, they call him the house cat, and they asked him why. And he said, well, I like to hang around the house. And somebody said, do you like to hang around the house and eat? Because he came to the camp overweight, lost 20 pounds. Well, the guys who provided him that last inspiration, the front line.
This is the push right here. Everett's going to push. Elliott's going to push. Skrepnik's going to attempt to push and come back and pick off the linebacker. Steve, you could have run this one into the end zone. The house cat did it this time. Watch Skrepnik come back and pick off Christensen, but there's the hole in the secondary. And I'll tell you, even a soccer player, a basketball player from Kansas could have made that one into the end zone, Steve.
I'm going to tell you what, I would have juggled the football as they handed it off to me and fell right on my
You
face.
could have foot dribbled that one into the end zone.
23-yard line. Duckett. Not past the 25-yard line where the tackle is made by the entire interior of that defensive line. Neil Simpson.
Jim Miller growing more comfortable in his role as a quarterback. He's going to be asked to throw a lot more in this game. Good stats for him. 12 for 17, had a few drops. Here's where he's thrown the ball so far in this game. Pretty well distributed across the field. Had the one intercept on the tip pass where the linebacker got the ball. That was actually a curl type throw. It ended up being intercepted down the field.
2nd down and 7. On play action, trouble here. They dump it off to Duckett to the 25 and 30. And down they go. Miller, he was trying to look right. He made a good decision.
Actually, it was a set-up play. It was a fake type of a bootleg with a screen pass back to the fake back, Tico Duckett, to try to get a big play out of it right there. Kind of a new wrinkle. Hey, George has got some imagination. Look at those shoulder pads right there. Those are the same shoulder pads that Lorenzo White ran with when he played here at Michigan State. They draw enough fans here, you'd think they'd be able to find some new shoulder pads. No, it's history of it that he wanted.
They only let the pickers wear them. This is Milt Coleman. He has the first down, out of bounds near the 40-yard line, knocked out by Coleman Wallace after a 10-yard gain.
Milt Coleman, who was all-everything high school quarterback from Farmington Harrison. He could potentially be George Furless's first Rhodes Scholar. He's just a freshman. He's an all-A student. That guy's not an all-A student. Milt Coleman was our all-A student. Here he is, a little bit of a pick play. He's coming out of the backfield. Man-to-man coverage. You can see it right there. Good read by Miller, and he hits him on the run. And George Furless told him Milt Coleman's going to have an opportunity to play quarterback, but he's got great hands.
Duckett to the 50-yard line where he is hammered down by Corwin Brown. And, you know, you were talking about Milt Coleman. You remember he was on ESPN's Scholastic Sports America in high school. He was a valedictorian and the Super Michigan Player of the Year.
Absolutely, and he's a type of a player that he wants to play quarterback, and George says he deserves the opportunity, but he's so valuable. They got to get him on the field, and George said he's got great hands to catch the football, so he's getting a chance to play.
Miller has him in Michigan territory at the 48. Nice move by Duckett. Gain near the 41. Tackled by Eric Anderson.
Nice read that time by Miller again. He's being very patient with the football. If Michigan has a little bit of a chink in their armor, it's the ability to throw against their secondary. They play deep zones, and they have not shown a pass rush unless they had to blitz. And that's really what's been their problem when they go play the big the big run and shoot type teams. They have not been able to put pressure on the quarterback.
Hutchinson there, and everybody else. And Tim Brando, what else is going on in college football?
We're here taking a look at Georgia Tech and Maryland, Steve, on a 3rd down play. Sean Jones coming back off the bench, bothered with the flu virus, finding Jason McGill, 48 yards to strike, and Bobby Dodd Stadium erupts. It's 27-3, Ramblin' Wreck.
Here we've got it 28-7, but Michigan State on the move. They are at the Wolverine 41.5-yard line, 3rd down 3.
Michigan in with a nickel.
Fast and small, lone setback. No throw. They've got DeMan Hawkins for the first down.
Well, Michigan came in with a little bit of a slot blitz. They played man coverage that time, but nobody covered Courtney Hawkins. And that's a little bit of a bust play right there by Michigan. Well read by Miller. I continue to be impressed with his future. He's got a great arm, very calm in the pocket, and as he learns to get more comfortable with the offense, and probably more important, Steve, as the coaches gain more confidence in him, they'll give him more plays to take advantage of his skill. On 1st down, Sebastian
Small to the 30-yard line, now to the 29, where the tackle's made by Anderson and Marcus Walker again.
Sebastian Small is from North Carolina. He's a 4'3", 40 guy, highly recruited. Came to Michigan State, a little bit more of a slashing type runner. And, you know, when we talked to Pat Morris, their coordinator, and Charlie Baggett, they said, we'd love to give them that kicks and duck and 1-2 punch that they did in 90 last year. We just haven't had the ball enough to take advantage of both these players.
They have their man again, first down, inside the 15-yard line. Ty Halleck, the backup tight end, and Miller found him right away.
Here we have the quarterback and the secondary at the same time right here. You see the zone defense by Michigan right here. The tight end is going to go right down the field. Let's see if we can freeze this just as he lets go of the ball right here. Stop it right now, guys. Boom. There he sees the opening of the zone right here. Miller is a little bit late with this football, but he gets it there on a tough, hard throw for the completion.
Sebastian Small to the 10. He is near the 7-yard line. Now it's the offensive line that's beginning to control.
Here's the finish of the play right here. Miller's going to throw this ball, and he doesn't put a lot of air on it right here. Zips it into the zone, and that's how you attack that 2-deep zone defense with that tight end down the middle. Great execution by Michigan State. Nice cut there, guys, down in the truck. You're able to see the quarterback's timing with the receiver. Nice job.
Good drive. It's taking 4.5 minutes. Small again. Oh, man. Who was there? Everybody. And starting it was Sylvester Stanley, the nose guard.
Yeah, Sylvester Stanley that time just beat the center, and he was in the backfield. There was no place to go, and that sets up a situation where you're moving the chains, you're moving forward, and all of a sudden Lloyd Carr has the advantage right there, defensive coordinator, to call a third down defense where you got to get 8 or 9 yards. Now, Michigan State, I believe, is going to say, hey, let's see, 7 minutes to go. We got the win. Should we take the field goal? I think they're going to consider it 4-down territory.
Boy, they just hustled in that nickel defense, and Miller with pursuit from Eric Anderson throws it to Coleman. He is in. Touchdown!
Great call there, Steve. Michigan did not get their players in there on time that time, and they got the ball to them. Again, you can see Michigan is not flanked right here. Let's freeze it right here now. Stop it. You can see he's got Bill Coleman open right there, and Michigan is getting picked in the back right here, and he lays it to the outside for the easy touchdown. They snapped that ball quickly and kind of turned the tables. Michigan tried to make a late substituted defense there and got burned on it.
Well, you were talking about confidence, and that number 16 is really riding high. That last possession, first half, and their first possession here, second half, he has been the leader, and Bill Coleman, the redshirt freshman, with his first touchdown in his career. Delver makes it 28-14. They've scored 2 touchdowns coming into this game. They've scored 2 against one of the best defenses in the nation. Jim Miller, his second touchdown of the afternoon. ESPN's presentation of college football, Michigan and Michigan State, is brought to you by Buick and your local Buick dealers. Remember Buick, the new symbol for quality in America. And by Subway, sandwiches and salads made fresh before your eyes. They had frowns earlier, but they're smiling now as the Spartans have scored twice to pull within 2 touchdowns of the favored Michigan Wolverines. And Desmond Howard finally gets a return since early first half, and he slips and falls to one knee.
Neither defense has been able to stop the other team's quarterback. Jim Miller has come down, had a great ending first half, has brought it out here to the second half, and everyone is gaining confidence as he can completing these passes.
And I'm not sure if you saw, but Wisconsin leading Iowa 6-3 second quarter.
13 completions in a row for Jim Miller, 2 TDs. Hey, this is fun playing football again here at East Lansing.
26-yard line after a gain of near 15 yards.
Powers is just picking those holes. He has confidence that his offensive line is going to sustain those blocks. Here he comes at you again. Running to his left. Gets popped out. Runs behind a guy. Cuts back one more time. And is into the secondary for another play. 137 yards already in the game.
And this was like the time of the game against Notre Dame where Powers really started running well and wore down the Fighting Irish defense. They pull him back. Gain of 2. He's got 139 yards rushing now. Chuck Bullock coming up, number 41.
Defensive coordinator for Michigan State, Norm Parker, said, yes, Michigan State is going to be able to move the ball within the 20s. We need to stop them when they get to that 20-yard line down to the 0. That's really where they haven't been effective in this game. You can't stop this Michigan offense too many times when they've got 60, 70 yards to move. They got to get better in those short yardage situations.
Roll that zone over towards Desmond Howard, who's at the bottom of the screen. And it's 2nd down and 8. Right there.
Well, I'll tell you, you're starting to get the feel now of this Michigan-Michigan State game. If they can force a punt, you're really going to feel what it's like to witness a Michigan-Michigan State football game. It's real big-time noise around here.
Gerback, who completed his first 9 passes this game, is only 2 for his last 8. He needs 8 for the first down on 3rd down.
They got it illegal? No, they're all set with their formation. They're fine.
Ready again. Nope. Bulla there. '84's John McNeil, but Chuck Bulla, he smelled it out right now.
Bulla, remember, got beat with that little trap play against the nickel earlier. This time he waited for the quarterback to pass the fullback before he went back in the drop for his zone cut. And they're going to get the football back if they don't make a big mistake with the ability to go with the wind again. This could get interesting.
Bill Coleman, who scored the last touchdown, awaiting Ascona's punt. And they're looking for the return. Got a flag as the ball goes out of bounds. Michigan State may have excellent field position, but wait a second, as flags down on both sidelines.
If I was George Perlis, I would not be happy where that flag was thrown. It was thrown in front of the Michigan bench, and you wonder if the coaches were calling this one here.
Illegal procedure. Not enough men on the offensive line against the kicking team.
You almost got the feeling that the official forgot who was playing. Rolled his eyes and said, okay, who was on that side? There's Gary Moeller. He has never beaten Michigan State. We've got 5:19 remaining, 3rd quarter.
In a drive kept alive on 3 different occasions by Miami roughing the passer penalties, Penn State gets it down inside the 10-yard line. Tony Sacco will find his favorite target off the quick drop. And that, of course, is Terry Smith. Nice adjustment in midair. It is 26-20, 9:35 left in that game at the Orange Bowl. And they've gone to halftime at South Bend. The Irish leading the Panthers of Pitt 14-0 in a battle of unbeatens.
Thank you, Tim. There's George Perlis. Last time Michigan State was 0-4 was 1982. They lost Game 5, 31-17 to Michigan. Lost the first 7 that year. And George Perlis was hired the next year.
This is Michigan State's slow-motion silent wave that they feature here.
For about 3 yards.
Yeah, that's why Dwayne Ware is always one of the leading tacklers for the Michigan defense. He plays that short side corner, and they bounce it outside. He's the 3rd leading tackler on the team, and he's been there a few times in this game when they bounce it to the outside.
For the last 2 possessions, Michigan State has had the football. Jim Miller has driven them down the field 70 yards or more, and 4 touchdowns. 80 yards the first time. That was to end the first half. 77 yards to open the 3rd period.
He got 13 straight completions, too.
Rollins in motion. He makes the catch. He's got a first down. That's 14 in a row. You think he's feeling comfortable?
I'll tell you what he's doing. He's throwing the ball to the right side of these players, away from the defender. And that's what he's doing so well on these players. You see the quarterback, you see the secondary. He's going to come down here and run a hook to the outside. Let's start the play. He drops back. There you see the quarterback. He's looking right. He moves the zone. Let's stop it right here now. You see the coverage. He's going to lead him to the outside. Let's see how good his timing is as he throws that ball just as he breaks, and he leads him away. Could have been a defensive pass interference. He kind of grabbed him by the jersey.
Gary, they're saying it's an incompletion.
Yeah, it looked like he dropped it a little bit after the end of it. I'll tell you, another good sign for Miller is he isn't getting knocked down after he throws the football. He's not putting any hits on him.
What I find surprising is the side judge came over immediately and said he made the catch. The ref in the middle of the field said, Third down. They need 8. Miller steps up. He'll run. He will not get the first down.
Looked like he fumbled the ball, too, but they'll call him down.
Carry for Michigan State.
Good zone defense that time for Michigan. They dropped back. He did not have anybody to throw to. He had to come up in the secondary. It's 4th and 3. Forced to punt the ball. Blake Carr, I'll tell you. He's working it, trying to call everything he can to keep this game from getting the momentum the other way.
Josh Budlin in. You know who is back? Desmond Howard.
Beautiful punt.
Give Howard time to return. That's always trouble. Good special teams play this time by Michigan State. Ty Halleck on the tackle after the 50-yard punt.
Howard tackle by Ty Halleck. First down, Michigan.
Spartan Stadium holds 76,000. The all-time record 80,401 last year against Notre Dame. They've got 80,157 this afternoon. We've got the Residents In scoreboard coming up next with Chris Fowler and Lee Corso. 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 10:30 on the West Coast. Try the middle again, and they're working over that huge offensive line. Pacuzzo and Doherty on the right side, and Leggett with a short gain. Bulla makes the tackle.
Yeah, if things aren't bad enough for Michigan State, they've also had another injury in this game to the defensive line. They already were without their defensive end and tackle, and now they've lost Ed Obradovich, number 91, who had that shoulder problem in the first half. There you see him. Had a little bit of a stinger, and he's out of the game also. So Aaron Jackson, the freshman, is in there, number 75. Michigan State gives him a lot of experience, if nothing else.
Gain of 6, 2nd down and 4. Powers near the 25. Tell you what, they're growing up this defensive line and playing well. Christensen came up, the true freshman, to make the stop. There he is, number 45.
The one bit of concern, and you really can't see it on the screen right here at home, is there is a good wind going from left to right across. Michigan State has the benefit of it here in the 3rd quarter. Michigan is going to hold on to the ball right here. There you can see the strength of that wind. So that in the 4th quarter, Michigan will have the win.
They need 1 on 3rd down. 7-man front. Ricky Powers gets the first down and about 5-6 more. We are live at Spartan Stadium in East Lansing, Michigan. 28-14, Wolverines beating the Michigan State Spartans. I'm Steve Physiak along with Gary Danielson, and throughout this day we will keep you up to date at what is going on in college football and the rest of the sports world. 2:23 remaining, 3rd period. Jesse Johnson in the game for Ricky Powers. Johnson not near the 35-yard line. Well, coming up later today, we've got college football scoreboard with Chris Lee. PGA Las Vegas Invitational. Then at 6:30, it's a Sports Center again. Not only bringing us up to date on college football, but what events is going on around, including the Major League Baseball Division Championships. College football scoreboard, Residence style, coming your way at 7 o'clock. Then at 7:30, our primetime game. Number 4 against number 10, Tennessee and Florida. Gerback, play action, Desmond Howard to catch the first down.
Boy, I tell you, this is what the great quarterbacks can do when you have confidence in your receiver being open right here. Little play action pass. Let's hold it right here. Desmond Howard's going to come down here and hook. But watch how early Gerback has to throw this football. Desmond Howard hasn't turned around right here. Right when he throws the ball, let's stop it. Right here, stop it. Look at, he's throwing the ball. Desmond Howard has not turned around, and he had to let that football go.
Johnson trying the right side, and man, is he a load to bring down.
Let's go back to it one more time. Just as he lets go of the ball, watch Gerback get hit on this play. There you see it, and that ball's in the air and halfway to Desmond when he turns around and catches the pass. That's great timing for a receiver and a quarterback.
You're right. If he waits for Howard to make the turn, look at him. It's a sack.
It's a sack, and that's really what you try to teach to a quarterback is gain confidence that that's that receiver's job to get open. You throw the ball to a spot.
And that's Howard's first reception since the first period. He's got 6 on the day for 61 yards and 2 touchdowns. Howard, the screen. That's his 100th career catch. He's to the 30. And he has another Michigan first down. Corey Keys making the tackle.
There's really no way to stop that play for Michigan State. The only way they'd be able to do it is come up and press Desmond Howard. And we've seen the 2 times that they've moved up on a man-to-man, they've thrown it over their head for touchdowns. That's a play that they have available to them anytime. It's just that Desmond is not real big, and they don't like him taking a lot of hits right there.
8th play of this drive coming. Wolverines by 2 touchdowns. Johnson in the defensive backfield. It's the 10. He'll score. 29 yards and the second touchdown today for Jesse Johnson.
I'll tell you, Bernie Leggett right here comes this way and comes across and kicks out the defensive end. Bernie Leggett right there is coming across to kick out. Going to start this way. Johnson's going to cut back right up here for the big touchdown. It's a counter play from the backfield. Leggett comes across to kick out. They run behind Skripnik's block on the backside. That was Elliott's block on the backside. And Johnson gets in, slashing into the end zone for the big lead up to, what, 35 points. Wow. What an offense they have here in Michigan.
He's averaging 7.5 yards per carry, and today is 83 yards on 8 carries. Both Powers and Johnson have combined for over 240 yards rushing. And we now have a 35-14 Michigan lead with 15 seconds remaining in the 3rd period. Residents in. College football scoreboard show coming away at 7, and right after that, Tennessee against Florida, game of national importance. And both teams like to throw, so that'll be enjoyable. Carl Pickens.
Yeah.
Dale Carter's on the right against St. Matthews, a quarterback you really like.
Oh, he's got great timing and touch. He's got a great offense. I say between Illinois and Florida, they probably run the 2 best pattern. Another injury here in Michigan. We got a man guy out. I tell you. He's ready. He's going. I'm on national television. I got an ankle, but I'm tough. I'm going to go in and get a shot up for the second half.
Oh, is he wondering you're one of the Sigma Nu fraternity?
No, you wonder.
Football.
You know, his parents right now are paying about 20 grand for him to go to college. You see him right there on the sideline. He's getting into the game, and they're saying, hey, it's all worth it now. We got our national television.
At least he didn't have a sign that said, hey, Mom, send money.
They were already sending all.
There's that ball we were talking about. Sigma Nu members from Michigan run the football along with Michigan State all the way here. East Lansing, and there's a fumble on the play. Did it go out of bounds? They're giving it to Michigan. They say the Wolverines had control before it went out of bounds.
Here it comes right here. Let's see if he's forward progress and stops.
Ty Halleck has the ball. He stopped right there. He continues to run. The ball's out a little bit. One more hit, and it gets ripped. You see Ware right there rip the ball out. It's on the turf, and it's Cummins right there. Peoples comes in and makes the play.
Flag was against Michigan State, so the Wolverines have it again. They're pulling away. It's 35-14, and Gerbeck and company will come out again.
I'll tell you, Dwayne Ware has played an outstanding football game. The junior cornerback caused that fumble. He got his hand underneath there and ripped it up, and the ball was on the field, and he made a play on the special teams. Now this could get ugly. They score right here now.
And you wonder if they'll go deep. A lot of times they'll do that after a fumble because the defense and the team's so stunned.
Yeah, they might go deep just running the ball.
Tyrone Wheatley, he's out of bounds near the 15.
Game where Michigan State was so close to being back in it. They have not been able to put the stop on Michigan's offense. State would love to have gotten their hands on the ball. They've got a hot quarterback, and now all of a sudden they see the big scoring drive and a turnover. And as I say, 35-14, it could be, 42-14 in just a matter of minutes here.
Greg McThomas in the game for the first time along with Wheatley. First down inside the 10 near the 8-yard line. And we are through 45 minutes of college football here in East Lansing with the visiting Wolverines holding on to a 35-14 lead on Michigan State. After leading 21-0 earlier, Michigan has their 21-point lead back, and they're trying for more. They've got a 2nd and 5 on the Michigan State 9-yard line. Bernie Leggett, Tyrone Wheatley in the backfield, and Gerbeck going back. He will throw it away. Yeah, round the flag.
You bet.
Myron Bell, the strong safety on the blitz.
Yeah, he's the number 2 tackler on this defense for Michigan State, and they were throwing it away. There's no doubt about that. They kind of compare him to their great All-Big Ten player, Harlan Barnett, who's playing for the Cleveland Browns right now.
Whoa! Did they change it because they...
No flags. There was a receiver within receivable distance. Number 6. Number 6.
I thought he went over and told Wheatley, I didn't see you at the time.
Well, I'll tell you,
Watch
it's a
number
big
6.
break right here. You see him. He's got the sack right here. He's going to throw the ball. Let's see if he even looks at Wheatley. His eyes no more look for Wheatley. That's intentional grounding, sack, everything in between if you want to do it. That's a call that really stretches your imagination. That's a fair call right there. That's not even close.
George Perlis had that give me a break look on his face. Opening moments, 4th period.
And man up there.
And they're looking to him, and they throw. He can't hold on to it in the end zone. He was wide open. Haller was beaten badly.
Haller was beaten. Haller slipped on the play. Watch him give him a little juke. He thinks he's going to the outside. Haller falls down. I'll tell you what, this is one of those throws. That's the first diving catch I haven't seen him made this year, but I know Elvis Gerbeck is upset with himself not delivering that one. He had all day to throw it, nobody in the picture, and he's just too tough to cover man-to-man. Haller just slips on the play, and that was a sure touchdown. Hey, a little justice there.
26-yard field goal attempt is through, and Michigan has pushed the lead to 38-14 over their arch rivals, the Michigan State Spartans.
26 yards. It is Michigan.
14:48 to play. Let's check in with Tim Brando.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. It is 1-0 in the NLCS. John Smoltz gives up a solo shot to Orlando Merced as they have now moved into the bottom half of the first inning there. Now, we're going to talk about Baylor and Rice. Grant Tapp goes to the fullback pick off the Belly series. What a great run here by John Henry. 64 yards against the Rice Owls. They were up by a touchdown at the time. Baylor is driving again inside the Rice 20, tied at 17 in the third.
I love when Tim sneaks out a little of that Shreveport talk on us. The Belle Series.
It's amazing you can cover it up all the rest of the time. Well, tough break for Michigan State there. They had a big sack. Should have been a touchdown grounding on the play, and they end up having to give up 3 points. I know Gerback's upset with himself not being able to deliver the ball to that man right there, Desmond Howard, but you don't get him any more open than that.
He put a little dance step on Alan Heiler.
The great ones are so hard to jam coming off the line of scrimmage, and that's what you know, he's so good at, is getting away from that giant jam.
Courtney Hawkins from the 3, out past the 20-yard line, where David Ritter makes the tackle.
I'll tell you, the second half, Michigan State, they've been throwing the ball more, but Michigan's rushing game in the second half has been the defense. They've ran the ball already 165 yards basically in the third quarter. Michigan State has only been able to run the ball 30 yards in the second half. Big difference in the football game. You know, and I really attribute it to, we started off our game with it. Desmond Howard is the difference. Not very many football teams set up their running game with a passing attack, and that's what Gary Moeller and Michigan's done, why they're so tough to stop.
Jim Miller goes to Tico Duckett, and he tries to find a hole but cannot. You know, you were talking about him wearing the Lorenzo White shoulder pads. We were asking what kind of a running back is he, and he said he's a picker, a lot like Lorenzo White.
Yeah,
he's got a slasher small, and he's a lot like Blake Ezor.
Small's like Blake Ezor. This guy's like you know, Lorenzo White, as you said, but none of them can really show their stuff when they're running up there and there's 4 or 5 guys to beat, and that's been the problem. They have not been able to move people off the line of scrimmage.
Second and 8. Miller finds Hawkins first down, 43-yard line.
I think Michigan State has found themselves a quarterback in Jim Miller. He delivered this one again before the break, threw it between the zones that time. You'll see Courtney Hawkins playing at about 70% in this game with a bad ankle. That ball's on the way. Look at it, in the zone, gets up and protects it. Another great wide receiver here at Michigan State, and I think Michigan State is going to be very happy having Jim Miller, just a sophomore, around for 2.5 more seasons here.
And they may have another one in Bill Coleman at the bottom of your screen, number 6.
We haven't seen a pass play off the reverse yet.
Well, we've got the reverse, and look at that. You called it beautifully. They complete the pass to Hawkins, first down again. Gary Danielson, what do you have, a magic wand? You know what's coming?
I'll tell you, this is when you have a receiver who can throw the ball, what you like to do. Bill Coleman's going to come around to the outside. Michigan did not blow this play. Bill Coleman right here is going to come around, get the pitch, and throw the pass from back here. Michigan did a good job of sensing this play and playing the zone. Here you see it. Nobody's really fooled. Let's stop it right here. You can see they got a safety back here. There's a safety back in this corner just outside the play. But he throws a good pass to Courtney Hawkins for another big play for Michigan State.
Gain of 21. Miller has to scramble. Incomplete. He was throwing it away. Now I remember, George Perlis told us yesterday, he said, Gary, on play 64 of this game, we're going to run the reverse pass. Huh?
Well, too bad I couldn't tell Lloyd Carr that they had that play in, but you know, we heard that they had it in. A couple of students told us they had that pass play in, and we've been looking for it, and that seemed to me like the opportune time to spring it. I know George would love to have had a closer game to use it at that point, but at this point, you know, down, they're still fighting and scratching and trying to get back in the game with the passing attack.
He has done a great job here at Michigan State. 7 straight winning seasons. Not much more. Boy, when they grab hold of you, they don't let you go. Marcus Walker, who has replaced the injured Steve Morrison at inside linebacker, and they don't lose much.
Yeah, Marcus Walker, just a redshirt freshman. You know, in high school, he was ranked 33rd out of 411 students. He was academic All-American and a real student, and comes here and he's playing linebacker in the Big Ten, and he's going to be an outstanding football player for the Wolverines in the future. He's got to get in shape though. He's tired already.
3rd down 4. Uh-oh. Tony Henderson nose guard there. The first sack by Michigan today.
Tony Hutchinson has taken over for Stanley at nose guard because he's a little better pass rusher. Number 79 right there. Chris Hutchinson, the other defensive end tackle type position, is in that situation to put pressure also. Michigan is able to come in and get a sack when they really needed it. Kind of surprised right here that Michigan State is going to punt the football, and I think the crowd is wishing they'd go for it also.
Yeah, they're down 38-14 with 12:09 to play. Butler on, so Howard goes back to receive, standing at his 10-yard line.
Yeah, they're missing a guy, I'll tell you. They're just going to have to let the clock kill right here. 6 seconds. A penalty doesn't hurt them. They do not want to waste a timeout. No problem, no problem. Kicking from the 38 or the 43 is the same thing, so it's no factor penalty right there. I wouldn't be surprised if Michigan didn't decline it and force them to kick it a little closer.
Todd Collins might be coming in to replace Elvis Gerbach, who's led him to the first 38 points. Butler kicking it away from Howard, but nope, Howard's going to take it. Desmond dropped at the 22-yard line. Ty Halleck has been the main guy to stop him.
32 yards on the kick.
31 yards on the punt, 10-yard return. That's his average this year. Michigan with a 38-14 lead on Michigan State.
It is a final now at the Orange Bowl. 41 consecutive victories there for the Hurricanes. They beat Penn State 26-20. Controversial play at the end of the game. Darrell Williams makes an interception. The impetus of the pass carries him into the end zone, yet he is ruled down at the 1. It was, in fact, a touchback and not a safety, but a misapplication of the rules by the officials, setting it just outside the 1-yard line. Back to Stephen Garrett.
Thank you, Tim. 38-14, Michigan with the lead. 11:45 to play. Gerbach is in there, not Todd Collins, who is warming up on the sideline. And they will go to the fullback, Greg McThomas, short game near the 25-yard line. Well, there's Desmond Howard, maybe the best receiver Michigan has had since Anthony Carter.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt about it. There you see his numbers today. Not overpowering numbers, but circle those 2 touchdowns. And the guy, I mean, he's the man. We just talked about him. He's a legitimate Heisman Trophy a contender for this. I think he and Casey Weldon are the 2 leaders right now. And he's going to continue to put these types of numbers on the rest of the year. He's just an outstanding football player. We just can't call him magic here in East Lansing. That's Herman's name.
Well, they'll try Wheatley this time, and Wheatley skips by a couple and gets to the 30-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and 2. You know, we're talking about Anthony Carter. He has 37 touchdowns in his career, and Howard has 23 now. Tyrone Wheatley getting some game action. Michigan has really played well this year.
I'll tell you, the talk over here, though, is how there you see Desmond coming out, and that's really tough on a defense right there. You know, at first he's not even in the game, and all of a sudden he comes back out on the 3rd and 2 play and changes your defense. There's talk in Detroit, though, that if he can come and win the championship, have a great year, that Desmond will go pro after this year. So there's a rumor to start.
Wheatley muscling ahead and then is pushed back. Let's see where they mark the football. Michigan this year, I mean, they have played 4 back-to-back-to-back tough game.
Absolutely. There you see the results. You know, we play Notre Dame, Florida State, and then when you look at this schedule, at Iowa and then at Michigan State, you know that you're in for a trouble. Now, a lot of people say there's a lot of negatives. Gary Mueller said, you know, I can't use my substitutes in case there's injuries down the year, possible injuries playing big games. You could have the emotional letdown playing a big game, and it wears the teams down towards the end of the year. The positives, though, hey, you become battle-tested. You're going to gain experience for tough games like Iowa. Here you get focused in practice, no trouble, and you can recruit the guys saying, look who you get to play when you come to play at Michigan.
They go to Howard. He's to the 40. He is by the 50 and finally hauled down from behind near the 40-yard line. Corey Keyes making the touchdown-saving tackle.
So simple. It's like a long handoff. They run this play a few times. They throw it out to him. He gets the ball. Gail Van Dyne is going to come down and get the block. This is like a sweep. He's outside of everybody. And if he doesn't get grabbed by the shirt, if he had a Barry Sanders type shirt on right now where they tuck it in and put a little silicone on it, he's gone right now. You know, we talked about the advantages and disadvantages of a tough schedule.
I like the tough schedule. I just don't want 3 of them. Give me 1 tough game. I don't want 3 of them in a row like that in the non-conference. The Big Ten is tough enough. Remember, Penn State's coming in this conference in 2 years.
Howard now has 100 yards and receptions after that 28-yard catch. 8 catches on the day. And Howard with 29 receptions on the season. He has 2 scores, bringing him to 12 in the season and 10 receiving that football. AC had 14 in 1 year, and that is a Michigan record.
I never thought I'd see anybody compare with Anthony Carter at Michigan, but I think this guy's his equal. I'm not going to say he's better than AC, because AC was unbelievable. Ask Lee Corso one time about the catch he had against Indiana to win a game. Right, Lee?
We'll be talking to Lee.
He doesn't like to talk about it.
There you go. He'll run Wheatley. Inside the 40-yard line, where he's tackled by William Reese, number 74, the defensive tackle, and the only starter remaining on that defensive line.
Well, that's what's so tough on these Michigan State kids. And George refuses to make excuses, you know, and you love it. Again, we talk about, as a parent, you tell your kids, hey, life is tough. Life is rough. You know, you got to get in there and keep fighting. Todd Collins, by the way, coming on right now.
Tough news for you, pal. Minnesota's leading Purdue 6-0.
Uh-oh. Boilers are going to throw it around, though. Todd Collins into the game, the backup redshirt freshman from Massachusetts. Gary feels comfortable now. They're across the 50-yard line. Let's give somebody else a chance.
To the 25, and another Wolverine first down.
Wheatley was scary good in high school. He was like a man playing with boys in high school. I mean, he was running the ball at Robichaud High School, a sprint champion, a long jump champion in the state track meets. He gets the ball, and when he learns how to run the ball like a Big Ten running back, he's going to be scary good for Michigan. As I said, it's a bottomless pit for Michigan in their running back situation.
I mean, Powers has over 100 yards. Jesse Johnson is averaging 10 yards per carry, 8 carries, 83 yards, and Wheatley's got 53 on 9 after that 17-yard run. First and 10 from the 23. Tyrone again.
A little bit of a counter play that time, and Christensen gets in there to make the play, coming in from the backside, and Bullock. You know, Norm Parker said, what makes Bullock so good? He's out there watching film after practice and studying the game. And he told us that story about one day he's coming and he hears from the practice field somebody going out in the indoor practice field. He looks in there, and there's Bullock by himself in the offseason with all his pads on, hitting the dump. That's a middle linebacker mentality. I can't even relate to that.
Collins play action. He has not thrown an incompletion yet this year, but that one way too tall for number 84, Philman Malvo. Tomorrow, NFL game day begins noon Eastern time with Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, Joe Theismann. Then it's prime time. Chris, Tom, and Robin Roberts, and an in-depth look at Sunday's NFL action. That is the ultimate highlight show. 2 weeks from tomorrow, we've got the Redskins and the Giants. 7:30 Eastern time, right here on ESPN. That's your old teammate, Ernest Biner.
There you see Gerback was able to sit back. Desmond Howard.
Those are high school teammates, right?
St. Joe, Cleveland St. Joe, teammate, basketball players, did the whole thing.
Ellison with the catch. Tim Brando, what's going on?
Ray Goff went 4-7 last year. More importantly, in his 2 seasons, his ball club has never beaten Ole Miss. It was a 3-point game, and then Larry Ware took off for his 2nd touchdown rushing in the game. Look at him get away from that tackler. It is a 27-17 game. All the scores coming up after your ball game, gentlemen, with Chris and Lee on our scoreboard.
Yeah, that Georgia offense took a little criticism earlier this year, but they've got 22 points against a pretty good team. 38-14, Michigan over the Spartans with 7:55 to play.
A lot of substitutes in that offensive line now, too. Doug Skeen is in. Mark Millia's in at the center, I think. Gary Moeller's able to substitute a lot of players and give some of these backups a chance to play. That's what he said has been the tough thing about playing this schedule, is he hasn't been able to play his second-line kids. And if there were some injuries, he'd have guys going into Big Ten games that haven't played so far in this game.
bad night.
Yeah, very accurate passer. You know, he had the kind of a rough game against Florida State when he had those interceptions. Gary Moeller told us that he was impressed the way he fought, came back in that football game, and played it right to the end.
He'll have bragging rights for a year after that tough loss at Ann Arbor last year, 28-27. Collins on 1st and 10. Will throw. Has his man, but he can't hold on. Feldman Malvo.
Well, I tell you, this Collins looks good. I mean, we were at Illinois talking to John Makovic. He said Collins, Joe Pickens, the redshirt freshman at Ohio State, and J.J. O'Loughlin, the quarterback they signed, were the big guys coming out. And he really talked highly about the future that Collins had at Michigan. He recruited him very highly at Illinois.
You talked about Walpole High School in Massachusetts, where he played his high school football and was the understudy to Matt Rogers.
Right.
And then became a superstar. And that's when Michigan saw him and said, we want number 10.
Yeah, what's really, as a pitcher in high school, he was 10-0. Played on state championships in football and basketball.
Walter Smith is run out of bounds inside that 10-yard line, and boy, they flattened a couple of fans.
On the play, there is a flag.
Myron Bell, the strong safety, crushed him out. Is everybody okay over there? Not another referee down. Yep. I mean, they were getting pretty deep on that sideline.
A little bit of a pick pass right here. Malvo, number 84, is going to come inside and pick off the guy for Walter Smith to come out and catch the ball to the outside. Now let's see what happens to Bell right here. Riles him out, throws him down into the chairs. Now that, in the fine lines of the rules, anytime you throw anybody into a chair, that's an automatic penalty. It's kind of
late hit,
buried in there late.
First down.
You know, the frustration for Michigan State. I mean, this is a big emotional game for them, and Bell has been chasing fast receivers around the football field all game. He finally got a hold of one.
Is it just a 5-yard penalty if the chair's padded?
You got to pick out one of those folding chairs.
Malvo's got to get out there. They had 12 players in the field.
Yeah, that's what's so tough again right there. All of a sudden they have 12, they run off, and now they got their goal line offense out there.
Wheatley fumbles the football, and Michigan State will recover in the end zone. Juan Hammond's backup linebacker. And Tyrone was about 2 inches away from his first career touchdown.
Yeah, I think it's Alan Haller, number 23, that gets the good pop on Wheatley right here. Going into the end zone to put it on the ground.
7:39 to play. 7:39 from a Michigan. ESPN's presentation of college football, Michigan at Michigan State, is brought to you by Nissan, built for the human race, and by GE Televisions. It's easy to see why they are so easy to choose. See that MSC on the physical class sign? It used to be Michigan State College, now Michigan State University. In Indiana, they are leading Northwestern today 24-0. That's a good ball club. Shut out the Spartans last week, and we've got them next Saturday on ESPN.
In Ann Arbor against the Wolverines. Should be a great game. They got a good quarterback in Trent Green, and if you can throw the ball against Michigan, you have a shot.
Miller. He's going to duck it, and a short gain. Tim Brando, what's going on?
Going to take you out to the wild, wild whack, gentlemen, where BYU usually is very effective, but the Miners get it done. Patrick Bailey knocks it in, and the University of Texas El Paso has the lead. It is now 17-7 in the second.
They got to get last year's Heisman Trophy winner heated up. Ty Detmer for BYU. You see the score with the Wolverines leading. Jim Miller still in at quarterback, and they send Hawkins in motion. Rushes on, and Miller is corralled, and down he goes. Noseman was really hustling on the play. Tony Henderson.
Got a lot of the backups in. This is their second unit on defense for Michigan. They're all fresh. They got fresh legs. They're in there running and doing some things and getting the big sack. Murkowski gets the sack out of that one, and he was in the backfield. A lot of fun to be able to play in a Michigan game when you're up by this many points.
Stick around. At the end of this game, we'll have the Residents In Scoreboard Show. Update you on the rest of college football and all the highlights. Inside of 6.5 to play. interception returned by nickelback David Ritter.
There you see Miller right there limping a little bit. He threw the ball over the middle. Ritter's in a deep zone. He's trying to hit the crossing route, coming across here. He's trying to stick it in. Miller falls down, but he was actually trying to hit the crossing route to Courtney Hawkins coming in. He let him a little bit too much. But you know what? Miller showed me a little bit right here. You can take easy throw in that situation and get the completion. There he is coming across for the big hit. But you know what? He's playing to win this football game. He's throwing it down. And when you take the chances and you know when you throw the ball down the field like that, you could possibly throw an interception, that shows me he's got the makeup to be a great quarterback in this league.
That has hurt. Michigan State 3 turnovers. Collins to Wheatley. Let's see if he can get his first career touchdown. Yes, indeed. True freshman from Dearborn Heights.
3 yards.
Well, he was happy to see that interception, be able to get a chance to redeem himself on that fumble that he had on the play where he was into the end zone just a couple of minutes ago. So Wheatley able to stick it in the end zone for the Wolverines. Just a simple toss right here. Collins to Wheatley. He's got the fullback in front of him. He's got the guard coming out. He just plows it into the end zone for 6 more points.
But it's now 44-14. It was 28-14, and Michigan State had the football at one point.
Elliott will snap.
Carlson is through again and make it Michigan 45, Michigan State 14. Jim Miller, he has had a courageous game, but his team trails.
It's been a disappointing season for the MSU Spartans to this point, but no one in the stadium is as disappointed as local DJ Jim Parker. Jim's up on a billboard in Lansing right now, and he's not coming down until the Spartans win a game. Maybe got another chance next week, Jim, but for now, looks like rain. Stephen Gary, back upstairs to you.
Up on the billboard, he's got the Spartan flag.
I tell you, this isn't being on a billboard down in Texas or Florida. You know, in Michigan, it's going to get cold here in the next couple of weeks. Now, the Spartans are going to be in some games they can win, but this every week for the Spartan team this year, because of the injuries, is going to be a big challenge to get a win. He could be there a while.
6:08 to play. Hawkins. His long return in his career is 85. He gets to the outside and falls down as Carlson. The kicker comes up, J.D. Carlson, to trip him up. And Michigan State will have the football at the 30-yard line.
Courtney Hawkins, you know, one of those type of athletes that you don't get every 2 or 3 years. He comes along once every 5 or 6 years. You love to feature him, and it's such a tough for him to go out as a senior now. And these guys have had such great games against Michigan in the past, and now it's a little bit of a blowout. And, you know, don't take it so bad. You know, you got one of those things that happen with injuries. It's part of playing football.
McFarland and Coleman come to the left side. One lone setback, 3 wide receivers. They'll give it to Sebastian Small. He's out past the 35-yard line. And, you know, really for Michigan, Gary, their victory in their opener over Iowa, as Gary Mola said, we have a 1.5 game lead for the Rose Bowl because we knocked off a team we really think is going to contend this year.
Well, they have a 1.5 game lead over Iowa, but look out for Illinois, Ohio State. You know, that game's going to be today. One of those teams next week, and those teams are good football teams. Verduzco's going to keep Illinois in every football game. So, a lot of games yet.
Next week, we've got Indiana and Michigan. McFarland with the catch out of bounds. Tim Brando, what's going on?
You asked for Ty Detmer, the Heisman Trophy winner of a year ago, to get it together, Steve. Well, he does. And he gets some help from his receiver. Watch Eric Dragg over number 5, Othell West. That may be offensive pass interference. But on the tip drill, Dragg pulls it in. BYU pulls to within 3 in so doing.
Tim, the other day, Gary Danielson grabs 3 footballs and he's juggling them in the air. Does that come from the tip drill?
Well, that comes from being pulled in and out of the game and nothing to do on the sideline.
Hey, that guy's about as good as you. There's an incompletion to Bill Coleman. And it'll be 3rd down and 10 yards to go. Next Saturday in the Big Ten on ESPN. Indiana at Ann Arbor, number 5 team in the nation in Indiana. They keep moving on. They're beating up Northwestern today. That's at 12:30 Eastern time. Then our primetime game, Notre Dame, number 7 in the country, and Rick Myers got them much improved against Air Force and their wishbone. That's Ron Franklin and Mike Godfrey. Bill Coleman with the catch of the first down. 13 yards in the play.
All right, a lot of question here. Now, why do you have Miller in the game? Why do you have Coleman in the game? You know, the score is out, 5 minutes to go. Could you possibly get him hurt? Michigan State needs plays. These guys have not played a lot. They need experience in games. Every snap they get in this game is going to help them down the schedule in Indiana, Michigan State, Purdue, all the rest of the games. Every snap helps Milt Coleman and Jim Miller.
Small cuts up. He's got the first down inside the 30-yard line near the 28. The Spartans next week play Minnesota here at home, and then they go to Ohio State before they get Northwestern, Wisconsin, and Purdue.
Made the tackle.
Last time they were 0-5 was back in '82, and George Perlis was not the coach. He took over in '83, and he has led them to 7 straight winning seasons and also to bowl games the last 3 years. Trying small again. Sebastian will not get the first down this time, but he comes up about 2 yards shy, so gain of 8. The flag is down.
Yeah, I think they're going to get a little piling on. Late hits right there when he was down. A lot of the fans will say now, why didn't Michigan State just do this the whole game? You know, throw short. And Michigan now is dropping in deep zones. They're content to let them throw the ball short over the middle of the field. And, of course, they've got a lot of second and third team players in there. Getting an opportunity to play basically for the first time this year because of all those tough games against big-time opponents.
So they'll push that football to the 11-yard line where the Spartans have a first down. Kerback, Skrepanek, he's the All-American, number 75. Look at that man, 6'8", 322.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's just as impressive is look how big Gerbeck is next to him. I mean, there's 6'6" next to 6'8", and I don't know who'd block whose shot in basketball right there.
Small for a short gain near the 10-yard line. Nate Holden.
I tell you, Nate Holdren is some story, though, for Michigan. He played outfield for the Michigan baseball team. His first 2 hits for the baseball team were home runs. Bill Freehan likes this guy in the lineup. You don't want him to get hurt. Bill Freehan, of course, the Michigan baseball coach, the former Tiger catcher.
Yeah, he was the State of Washington Player of the Year 2 seasons back. He's a redshirt freshman. To Small, 5-yard line. He cuts up near the 3. Inside 4 minutes to play here in East Lansing. And the Spartans trying to gain a little more respect.
The zone for Michigan is dropping too deep right now. That's when you can take advantage of the field. These are young players in there, and they're dropping back as if they were on the 40 or 50-yard line. Now you got to take advantage of a short field and shorten your drops and not let them have that pass over the middle like that and pick up 6-7 yards.
Tony Rollin and Sebastian Small in the game. Small, the tailback. They're going to him. Straight ahead. I like the way he runs. He really sticks his nose in there.
He's about a 4'3", 40 man. He's putting on weight to be the Big Ten back that he needs to be. Because he's going to run the ball between the tackles here at Michigan State. You know, I really believe it. It's going to be a tough year for Michigan State this year, but I just believe it's going to be a blip on the screen. I mean, next year they'll be back. They're going to gain a lot of experience. They've got a lot of freshmen that have experience, and they found themselves a quarterback.
Small, he was recruited by Michigan, and he has him within 1.5 yards of Pater. 45-14. Load him up. They go to Rollins. He is at the goal line. Did he fumble?
No, I think he made the first down, though. He didn't get the touchdown, but he got the first down. There you see it.
On 4th and inches, Rollins muscles ahead for the first down. Henderson came out of there saying, we got the football.
You can see the guard almost bumps into Miller right there, and he gets the ball from the top. He gets hit, falls forward right here, and he lands about 6 inches short of the goal line. Good spot by the referees right there.
First and goal. They'll go double tight end. Rollins, he's in. Well, they scored 20 points all year in 4 games coming into this contest, and they've got 20 against the Michigan Wolverines.
And absolutely, that's going to give this football team confidence as they go on. They're not going to have an inferiority complex on offense that they can't score. They know they can do it if they execute the offense properly.
Melbourne with the point after. Michigan leads by 24, but the Spartans' offense is much improved. Steve Physiak and Gary Danielson in East Lansing. Next week we have Indiana and Michigan. That should be a good showdown. We've got one of the best running backs in the nation in Vaughn Dunbar.
Absolutely. You know, Indiana has changed their offense and defense to play with the big teams. They've gone to a 4-man defensive line, and all with the idea of being able to play with Michigan State, Ohio State, and Michigan. So we'll see if the changes work. And, of course, they've got a passing quarterback in Trent Green who's having a great year. So we'll see if they can stand up to this blitzkrieg of offense that they have here in Michigan, I'll tell you.
They've got 45 today. They came in averaging 33 points per game. And the Spartans going for the onside kick, and they may have it. Yes, they do. Well, they've got 21 today, and they've got Miller out there again with 2:11 left. Wazelik.
What you try to do is bounce the ball into somebody a little bit hard and see if it comes off the ground. It's a tough catch. Bounces off, D-bolt, comes out, and Wazelik gets the return, and Michigan State's back out of the field. They're not going to win this football game. That upsets Gary Muller because he knows he had his first team, a good hands team out there, and it could come to that situation to win a big game, and he doesn't like those types of mistakes in that situation.
So from the 45-yard line, in Spartan territory, Miller has his tight end, and Lions gain of about 7-8 yards, where they're arguing. Ryan Townsend.
Got to go 2 minutes. No time to huddle. They should practice their 2-minute drill. 2 minutes left in the game. Let's get up on the line of scrimmage.
Second and 3.
Georgia in the fourth quarter now leading 30-17. And Colorado bouncing Missouri. I thought Mizzou would give them a game. They didn't need 5 downs. Catch made. Coleman inside the 35-yard line. Fumble, but McFarland picks it up, and they say, he was down.
Jamil Coleman.
15 yards in the play. Spartans get another first.
Well, Bill Coleman, I think, may have made himself into a wide receiver on this football team. He catches the ball well. He's fast, runs about a 4.3 40, and he's going to catch a lot of passes. He's the type of guy who could play in the NFL as a wide receiver.
And Miller in this game, 27 for 36. Downfield to his tight end, makes the catch. Lyons goes down inside the 15-yard line. And that, Gary, was a perfect pass.
Tight end is going to come right out from here and run down the seam right here. Miller does such a nice job of throwing off the linebackers and throws it early. Again, the linebacker, the ball is thrown as it goes into the zone. And Miller, as I said before when he threw that interception, he's got enough guts to throw that pass. Not a lot of guys can throw that type of pass after they've thrown some interceptions because that's what it's going to read in the paper. Miller threw an interception. But he's got the ability to throw an interception and come back.
Just over the outstretched hand of Bobby Powers. Here we go. No blitz from behind. Miller's going to go down. 20-yard line. And that is the third sack of the day by the Wolverines.
It's called timeout. Tee it up. You got 1:05 to go.
Martin Davis on the sack. Martin Davis. He and Brian Townsend share that right right outside linebacker position in that 3-4 defense.
Martin Davis was the starter last year, and Brian Townsend has become the starter this year. And he tied the team for the team lead last year with 7 sacks. And he gets beaten out basically in this program. So both play, but that's kind of surprising in the Michigan defense.
Got a timeout of the field with 1:05 remaining. Michigan up by 24 points on the road. And they have been an excellent road team this year. 11 straight wins on the road for the Wolverines. We'll take time out here. Back in East Lansing, Jim Miller just hit Sebastian Small inside the 10-yard line, where it will now be 4th down. And Michigan State will call another timeout. They'll need about 3-4 yards for the first down. They need to get near the 6-yard line. And Small has really helped them out on that little play underneath that zone.
Yeah, it's a little bit of what you call a check down. The back looks, they check for the linebacker, and if he doesn't come, if they drop in a deep zone, he checks down over the middle, and that's your safety valve. Instead of hitting him in the backfield, you throw it over the middle. And you people, I know we were in commercial when that play was run, but you didn't miss anything. That's the same play they've run about 8 times here in the third quarter. 3rd down and about 4 yards here, and 51 seconds left in the football game.
Yeah, they had 3rd and 13 up on the board as that last play went off. 2nd down and 13. As they switch that. It's Michigan State football. And again, following this football game, Tim Brando along the highlights with the Residents In College Football Scoreboard Show later on tonight. And then we've got Tennessee against Florida, 2 of the top teams in the country. Ron Franklin and Mike Godfrey bring it your way at 7:30 tonight Eastern Time. From the 9, 4 yards to go for a first down. 3rd down. In motion, being played, they ran for the touchdown, and they'll get another one again to Courtney Hawkins.
You're exactly right, Steve. That was, only it was a different defensive alignment that time for Michigan. Miller goes to his left, straightened out his shoulders, and delivers a nice pass right there to Courtney Hawkins.
You know, that's a lot like what the San Francisco 49ers do with Jerry Rice. Send him in motion a lot with 2 receivers to the left.
This time, Neil Coleman's going to come out for the touchdown pass he got early. This time, Courtney Hawkins comes down there, goes just inside the end zone, and on the rollout right here, Miller makes the nice throw to Courtney Hawkins in the end zone. Watch, 1 step into the end zone, turns in, and the ball is delivered right on time. I'll tell you, they've got themselves a good quarterback here in Jim Miller.
Delver puts it through. It's 45-28, and Jim Miller is having himself a career-best performance. 30 of 39 for 302 yards and 3 touchdowns.
I really believe George Carlos would love to run the football. That's the type of personality he wants to have for his football team in the Big Ten. But this year, he's a little bit outmanned. And the equalizer in college football, or for that matter in pro football, is to be able to throw the ball. You build it around a quarterback. He's got one right here. You know, the thing I've been impressed with, he's had pretty good protection all day to throw the ball. I don't know if that's a little bit of a problem area for Michigan or a real strength for Michigan State. Yes. And I'm surprised that Michigan has not been able to put better pressure on him.
You know, Hayden Fry of Iowa, he has that old philosophy, scratching where it itches, which means take what the defense gives you. And right now, Michigan is giving them the pass because they've closed down the run so well.
Well, now let's be, in truth and advertising right here, Michigan does have their backups in the football game. However, the execution has still been there. You still have to throw the ball from point A to point B, no matter who you're playing against, even if it's just to get the air. And I've seen some quarterbacks in the last year and a half in college football that haven't been able to do that against nobody. So we're going to see another onside kick again.
47 seconds remaining. Now, the great rivalries in college football, Wolverines and the Spartans. Wolverines going to try and find a little magic again, but this time Van Dyne up there has one of the best pair of hands on the Michigan football team, makes it, and Michigan will have that ball. We are at Spartan Stadium, 80,000 plus, the biggest crowd ever to watch the Spartans at East Lansing against the Wolverines, 45-28. Following this contest, Tim Brando will have an abbreviated college football scoreboard show because we're going to PGA golf, and it's the Las Vegas Invitational. If you saw it yesterday, you saw Chip Beck on the 18th hole from 3 feet away. His knees shaking maybe a little. Hit a 59. What was it, Guyberger last time?
Yeah. Well, I had a 59.
Did you?
Yeah, it was on the 13th hole when I had.
And you had to make it through the little arches.
Yeah, that's right. The windmill. Michigan is going to come away with this game with a big win. They're going to go to 2-0, and they're going to set up this big game next week against Indiana. And we'll get a chance to watch this guy again next week.
He's fun, isn't he?
Sure, I'll tell you.
2 more touchdowns today. He has 12.
I wrote myself a big note not to call him by magic here in East Lansing. I know a lot of these East Lansing people, but next week I can go back to his nickname back in the Ann Arbor. It's safe there.
Here in East Lansing, they had a fella back in '79 and won against Larry Bird. And Irvin Magic is the only one they know of. So they're hammering away with that big fullback, Greg McThomas. And this is the fella Gary Moeller said he wanted to see more of. McThomas, an All-American linebacker from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
He's got great size, too, I'll tell you, for a fullback. And what's amazing, I'll tell you, Gary Moeller might like to see more of him, but the Michigan State defensive backs don't want to see any more of this guy. He ran over him. Big win for Gary Moeller, his first ever against Michigan State.
After going 0 for 4, he and Desmond Howard help out to beat Michigan State 45-28.